Good evening, everybody listening at home. We do realize we are already into the 11 o'clock Eastern hour. However, we are waiting for more of our compadres to arrive. So please stand by, everybody. We are awaiting their arrival. We'll begin as soon as possible. Thank you.
Down to the paradise city where the grass is green and the girls are pretty. Oh, won't you please take me home? Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games. Whoa, we shine the light. Yeah, they're loaded like a freight train, flying like an aeroplane, speeding like a space grade. One more time tonight. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Welcome to the jungle. Watch it bring you to your knees. Take me down to the paradise city where the grass is green and the girls are pretty. Oh, won't you please take me home? I wanna go. I wanna know. Oh, won't you please take me home? Baby.
And what is up, everybody? I know we're a little late on the hour here, but Rampage just tends to be a mucker further on us. Welcome to night 1 of 2 this week of Open Mic Night here on the Jeff Meacham Network. And James, let me apologize you right off the bat for not having it on your platform. Just didn't have the time to do it. I will definitely get it up there for tomorrow for Rebellion and for night 2.
Cool.
Thank you all for joining us at home. Thank you all for joining us here in the studio. No, I'm not actually at Disneyland. You can tell by the way I'm glitching. I'm not actually on site. I will be in a couple months. But anyway, joining us as they do for Open Mic Night each and every time we do this crazy shenanigans, we have the simple man himself, Noah Foster, everybody's favorite foul-mouthed individual that occupies our network, James Hebert.
Hello.
Lower third, or lower left, I should say, the Renegade J.D. Williams. And joining us right away for the first time, Stat Boy right off the top of the bat. So let's get into it, guys. First of all, I want to, if you have your, since we're at Open Mic Night, it's Friday night. Nobody ain't got no kids around. Nobody ain't got no obligations. I want to raise a glass and toast a few important people in my life, I should say. First of all, everybody's favorite, still on property, Disney cast member. Happy birthday to our dear friend Danielle. Everybody in the circle that knows Dee Dee, we love her, and she is one of the best people in the history of the universe. We love her to pieces. And also, happy 5th anniversary to 2 people that are actually at Disneyland right now, my dear friends Catherine and Josh. So, glasses up, kids. Happy anniversary, happy birthday, and we will see all of you, at least I will, within the next 2 months. All right.
And a quick congratulations to Killer Cross and Scarlett for getting married up in Alaska.
Yes, on a glacier. God bless them, man.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's about the coolest wedding you could ever possibly imagine.
Ha! Right? That's a pun. Because
I enjoy that. We enjoy the puns here on the network. So there you go. Very good. Very good. Yes.
Once in a while, I pull something out.
That is what funny. She said. We're gonna move on from there. There you go.
We both had to say
that already. Noah, damn it!
Jesus Christ.
Someone had to.
So, but before anybody asks, before anybody in the chat room, super chats, or whatever the case may be, there's 2 things I want to get off right at the top, and I just said get off, and we're gonna keep on rolling. It's gonna be one of those nights, folks. Okay, here we go. So, JJ with the reminder. Thank you very much, JJ. Don't forget, everyone, if you want to introduce your own topic for Open Mic Night, super chat that $5 to the Jeff Meacham Network. We appreciate it. And if you want to appear with us on screen, it's a $10 donation. Again, just because we hit the goal doesn't mean we want to keep on rolling and make the channels even better. So get those super chats in if you want to introduce your own topic. We do have quite a bit to talk about, but at the end of the day, other than the one topic about the phones, which we're going to lay into, James and I in particular.
Can't wait for
Noah,
that.
Right? It's going to be one of those things because I've dealt with those till very recently, and I hate those things with a passion. So, but at the end of the day, other than that topic, we all know everybody wants to hear it. It's almost become cliche. But Noah, what at the end of the day brings us all to this table, to this forum?
Oh, that's its simple answer, Jeff. That's professional wrestling! Damn it!
Indeed.
There we go. And I just spilled alcohol. My alcohol abuse already off the top of the table.
Oh, no! That's a perfectly good waste of alcohol. What are you doing?
That's really good alcohol. I'm actually pouring on myself, too.
Penalty,
so that's bad.
Second down.
That's it. Penalty on the play. There we go. All right. So I'm going to completely throw Snapboy under the bus here because he's actually with us at the top of the show for once. So I'm going to totally single him out first since he's here.
Why? You don't know.
He is wearing that hideous orange Ducks shirt. That's enough of a reason right there.
No.
Just because our shirts are neighbors and proxy doesn't mean you got to wear that crap on my channel, Michael. Come on. I mean, really.
I am so glad I don't know sports.
I agree with you.
Would you like me to go?
Now, take a shot.
That's it. I agree. For everything that's some sort of party faux pas or foul, you take a shot. And since I already got my shot loaded, I spilled on myself, so I'm going to recuperate by drinking again.
Oh, Lord.
Step Boy, it's okay. I'm wearing a Tommy Dreamer shirt. You're good.
Tommy Dreamer, other than the last 6 months of TV programming on Dark Side of the Ring. Other than that, Tommy's cool.
Exactly. That's why.
Tommy's good people around. He's good people.
Yeah, but people don't like to get over recent events. That's fine. Go ahead.
No, that's okay.
Poor Stat Boy. You introduced him. He can't even get to talk yet.
Mikey knows better than that by now.
Story of my life.
It's all good.
Story of my life.
Yes. True.
It's
welcome to the chaos, Tap Boy. We're glad you're here.
Well, if you remember, I was on the show last week too with
briefly, yes,
with everybody. Yes. So this is well for the first hour anyway. But seeing as I don't have to go to work tomorrow and it's 11 o'clock on a Friday night and I'm not doing anything, hey, why not?
Yeah, exactly.
That's right. How we do it. He's here to party. So before we get into, again, too deep, again, get the super chats in there. But I want to tell you right now, at the top of the next hour, and as we get hour number 2 to get my Tony Schiavone voice going here, at hour number 2, we are going to start hour number 2 with that official announcement from the Renegade himself, J.J. Williams, regarding the futures of the Casadine Studios and all properties contained therein. So stand by for that. But I want to start with something that's been on my mind for quite a bit here. And I talked briefly about it Tuesday night on Talk Wrestling, but I'll go ahead and get each and everybody's opinion before I wrap up at my end here. With all the talk about how much is too much with televised wrestling, at the end of the day, what I want to ask everybody in the room here and everybody watching at home or wherever you may be watching, if you're watching in a bar, please get everybody involved. God bless you for that. We appreciate that. Shots on me. Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly.
Is pro wrestling in this country, the United States of America, back on the rise? And yes, New Japan logo is there, but you know what? They're running the show with AEW here in June. So kiss my ass. I don't think they're an Americanized wrestling company too.
You're damn right.
Yeah.
So I will start with the man who is our resident expert on basically every brand you see on screen. I'll start with Mr. Foster. Noah, is pro wrestling in this country back on the rise after what we can all agree on has been quite a down period the last, I'll say, since the network era began for WWE? It's been kind of on a decline in this country. Are we seeing a return to maybe not the glory days, but definitely a rise back to where we can all enjoy something about the business right now?
I would say absolutely. Not only do you have an alternative as big as your one only major player, to a degree in a different light when you consider how much they brought forward in the wrestling industry, bringing out what we missed as professional wrestling fans, what AEW has allowed to basically rise out of lost passion, renewed spirit in the world of professional wrestling has been beautiful. And then I think about everybody else that's been involved in this whole term of Forbidden Door, where not one company has basically created, not one person owns it, but it's everybody in the industry coming together to make this so much better for the fans and for themselves. Collaboration versus competition, while both still come into play at the end of the day. I think about the NWA, Impact Wrestling, AEW, NJPW, America brand. I think about GCW. I think about rising independent promotions, stuff that just started, like Capital Championship Wrestling, an all-women's wrestling promotion where my girl from Painesville, Ohio, Kylie King, she is their inaugural champ, and also Kayla Spots, the inaugural network champ. Great promotion. If you haven't seen it, go watch on Time Match Network. With the amount of possibilities and options that are available to anybody that just wants to find something and some way to connect to what may be unknown to you, but known to maybe people around you, where you might feel like the odd one out versus the actual fan. I don't think there's ever been a better time to be a professional wrestling fan, or a better time to look at something in this industry. I think it's definitely back on the rise, and it's darn good to see.
Gotta love that.
Did you even take a breath during that entire sentence?
Welcome to the life of Noah Foster. Where
that's what I love about Noah, is that he just goes on this tangent, and you can just sense the passion in his voice.
Truth.
Yes.
I'm just simple, man, a lifelong fan of professional wrestling. Damn it! But I
That's why he is the Jim Ross of this channel. God damn it!
Wait, does that make me Jerry the King? Oh no.
Yep.
No comment.
I mean, I do like me some Tony Storm, so I guess all right, yeah.
Like just Tony Storm, and we all enjoy the puppies. Yes, it's true. But you know what? Honestly, Lawler's just overshooting way too much on the freaking heel stuff Mondays. Like Corey, I know she's cute, but goddamn it, get off the honeymoon and come home, please. Oh my God. Anyway, so I'm gonna come to Mikey next, because Mikey, unfortunately for Mikey, is very much a non-viewer of the majority of what I flash on the screen there, except for WWE. So I'm going to ask you, Mikey, if somebody doesn't actively watch the other wrestling shows, what's your stance on this?
To the initial question, I'm going to say yes. Wrestling is on the rise because WWE has competition now. If you, as soon as WCW and ECW got merged, there was only ROH and New Japan, and they just weren't. Impact TNA was close, but it wasn't right there. They were WWE was still in charge of everything. As soon as AEW came into play, game over. They decided we're challenging up and we're bringing it back on the map. WWE tried to keep things fresh with NXT, and like I say, I in the shocking move, I said I started to watch AEW, and I'm like, okay, these guys are serious now. They were doing things that I did not think would happen. I don't want to give too many spoilers away because if you haven't seen AEW Dynamite, I wanted to watch CM Punk versus Dustin Rhodes. I didn't get a chance to, but I will say the main event surprised me. Watch that match.
Why am I blank? It's not FTR versus Young Bucks. My brain just apparently decided to do a.
Are you talking about this past Wednesday?
Yeah. What was it again?
Mm-hmm.
That was Andrade El Idolo taking on Darby Allin in a coffin match.
I do feel, while I agree with you,
match.
Stat Boy, I do feel like it was a bit rushed, though, towards the end. But I think that's just because of TV time restraints. Which, by the way, side topic real quick, because that's typically what I do for some reason. Can we get a damn overrun for Dynamite for crying out loud? At this point, can we just make that a regular thing? I think they've more than earned that at this point.
I'd be okay with that. I mean, that's the only night of the week there's really no other. I mean, Thursday also, but there's nothing to do, wrestling wise after Dynamite's over at 10 o'clock. So why not?
At least 5 to 15 minutes, if that. I was expecting Samoa Joe and Minoru Suzuki to go at least quarter after the hour.
Right.
But that was still an awesome match.
But again, we were talking about that last week on the show here when we found out that match was going to be a thing. We were all like sitting here, oh my God, is it Wednesday? Is it Wednesday? Is it Wednesday? So James, I'll come to you next since we went ahead and did the side topic with you. What do you think? Because again, we all know very, very well after WrestleMania and after the WrestleMania backlash on the horizon, which you have to call, is pro wrestling / sports entertainment / whatever you want to call it on the rise in this country?
I would say absolutely. I could also give you the complete, the complete cynical answer. It's like, nah, fold up shop. It's not on the rise, man. It's so shitty. Nah, it's great right now, man. I mean, you got so many options. It's really impossible to not be a fan of something in this industry. Yes. There's so much good stuff out there. Like NWA is doing probably the best it's done in their power run, I think, up to date to this point. Yep. You have Impact doing great stuff. You have Ring of Honor now on the rise thanks to Tony Khan. New Japan and AEW are doing a crossover, which hopefully, cross fingers, is headlined by Okada and Punk. Hopefully. And you have just even what was the other promotion? I don't know why I'm blanking on it, but I mean, there's other promotions like what was it? Go ahead, Jeff.
Well, I was as far as the ones I put up on the graphic, you're good. But yeah, you also have GCW. MLW doesn't get talked about enough because I don't watch it. That's my fault. But
MLW is really underrated. MLW is underrated, actually.
It's more underrated, I think, than the NWA right now.
Yeah,
it really is. It really is.
Yeah. It really is. And you also have Deadlock Pro Wrestling, which started up not even that long ago, which is doing their highest grossing event that they've had to date. And they've only been around 3 to 4 months or something like that.
If that.
Insanity.
Yeah.
And
just insert name here, insert streaming service, insert potential opportunity for somebody to make a name for themselves to be discovered here. Rose Wrestling Academy on YouTube, Mission Pro Wrestling, Capital Championship Wrestling Florida. Stardom. Well, that's more international. But the bottom line is this: there's been never more variety, it seems, in this world of professional wrestling, especially here in the States.
Yeah, 100%. Now, hopefully, UK can make a bounce back as well. because Lord knows
JJ?
those people need it.
Yeah, JJ, you and Mikey and I are the old fogies in the room, and we've been fans the longest of the three. I think Mikey goes back, if not as far as me, then damn near close. But you, again, being the Attitude Era baby fan, if you will, and moving on, and again, we talk about it. You're just now starting to dip your toes back into that water after being gone for almost long as CM Punk was gone from the business, as far as being a fan.
Yeah.
So you watching this now, you're DVRing AEW on the regular, you're DVRing Impact now that y'all found access on Spectrum. With Spectrum, again, anything above the triple digit channel numbers would be super access. Thanks, appreciate that, Spectrum. Lee, where do you stand on this topic, my friend?
Well, I want to touch on one thing you said when you gave your opening statement. You said that wrestling has kind of been dead since the birth of the network era.
Mm-hmm.
I feel it's been dead longer than that. It goes back to the demise of WCW and ECW.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you figure WCW and ECW were put out of business by Vince, and then you had NWA, TNA, and ROH. And not to discredit anything that those two companies did, but neither one of them really had the promotion or the footing to bubble up and make a huge noise.
Right.
ROH was never available, worldwide. It wasn't on USA, TBS, TNT, some major station like that everybody with a cable provider can get.
Right.
It was very regional, much like ECW's old TV shows were.
Yes, exactly.
And then TNA, had weekly pay-per-views. Then they had Fox Sports West. They had like an 11 o'clock at night time slot. They had some of the crappiest time slots, this side of ECW on TNN.
Right.
Oh, they're actually going to air it this week? Cool. Check your local listings. We still have a show. They just don't always put us on for some reason.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But aside from that, there was nothing. So yeah, absolutely, wrestling is back on a rise. You've got WWE, then now forever will be the dominant number one. At least for the next few years or though. I'm not saying Tony Khan can't make a serious run and overtake them like Bischoff did for 83 weeks, but it's going to take something monumental, and Tony doesn't have all the pieces in the puzzle just yet. He needs that Hogan heel turn. He needs that NWO to spark the fire and get people talking.
For me, just to add, just to comment on your comment real quick on them, Tony Khan could potentially overtake Vince. I don't think he should ever concern himself with that ever. I'm sorry.
Same.
I don't agree with it.
Tony needs to stop caring about the ratings and trying to fight Vince, and he needs to worry about putting the best product he has.
Well, that's the thing. I think he has done that. I don't think he's tried to do anything for ratings. I think he's done it because he's a genuine fan. And
you don't feel like he's tried to do anything for ratings. Let me ask you this.
I mean, okay.
Let me ask you this.
As a consequence, yes. That's the only reason I disagree. But go ahead.
Go ahead, Jay.
Why was Suzuki versus Joe on Rampage, the 1 hour slot, with Suzuki losing the title in his first defense, if Tony wasn't trying to pop some ratings? Giving the belt to the ROH Loyalist Faithful Hall of Famer Samoa Joe.
Let's
be honest. Why was that not a Double or Nothing? Why was that not at Battle of the Belts? Why was that not on a bigger stage where they really could have built something up? Had that match go to a schmoz and get a rematch at a pay-per-view. Or people are going to be like, okay, this is what happened, and the match got thrown out to a disqualification, time limit draw, whatever. So now people are itching to see the rematch.
It comes down to this, I feel like. No matter what you look at in this industry, when it comes to whoever is ahead of insert company here, insert enterprise here, this is a business and it's a results driven business at the end of the day. I am conscious that no matter where you are in this business, you are out to prove a point, you are out to make a statement. But for us, just as fans, it comes down to what connects us, what drives us, what wants us to keep us watching, what keeps us going back to this. There's a reason why I'm more excited for AEW every week than WWE. Just saying. So, yeah, I do feel like at the end of the day, everybody's out there for the draw, but it shouldn't be the only aspect that drives a booker forward. And I think as far as what James is saying with Tony Khan, I don't think necessarily it's just ratings that drives this man's booking and creativity versus Vince, where at the end of the day, the number one thing that drives him is branding.
I would rather that be a factor than it be the driving force for the entire promotion. That I think that's the key there. I think a lot of, because here's the thing. A lot of people think that, well, if you're not going for the ratings, what are you doing? Keep in mind, when wrestling was at its hottest, it wasn't always to do with, okay, well, let's see what the minute by minute ratings are. You know, that wasn't a thing until the Attitude Era. That wasn't a thing until that era of wrestling started happening. The whole Crash Course TV thing, everybody trying to outdo each other in the Monday Night War. That's when that started happening. We don't have that going on anymore. We don't need to concern ourselves with that. We didn't need to when Vince tried to do it with NXT freaking T. No one wanted it. It's a different freaking time now.
But the problem is, James, it manifested because of the internet. If more so, ratings is more a publicized war by the freaking internet wrestling community.
Yeah, don't get me started on that one.
And that's why I don't give a damn about you on your ratings talk. You talk that shit, I'm blocking you.
Go ahead.
Exactly. Yeah. A lot of the ratings talk is by Northern California Reporter Redacted. He you know what? People buy his shit and read his newsletter. So good on him for getting people to buy into the Gaga. I will say this in the chat room before I go into my spiel on this. So we have Major. Let's see where we got here. Major.
That would be Martin. Just call him Martin for easy sake. That's my guy.
I believe that's my guy. On the rise now that COVID is done destroying everything, which is very much in the Noah Foster voice. Professional wrestling destroying everything.
Damn it!
I think WWE is. Damn it! That's right. Okay, wait. I don't have a shot ready. You can't say damn it. I have a shot ready. Noah, pouty foul.
My bad.
Anyway, WWE is doing, I think AEW is doing better. Everything kind of died in the wrestling world when COVID, and he makes a great point about the pandemic, and I'll get to that in just a second here.
Definitely.
So Adam's been commenting along the way here. He says New Japan's going to save the world, supposedly, which, again, we've all heard many times over the years. He also says most fans have no clue who any of these Japanese wrestlers are as far as the mainstream American community. And to his credit, he's right as far as the mainstream, what we call on ODQ, the casual fan. So from that perspective, it's like watching a made man wrestling a jobber. And again, if you've watched WWE the last 10 years, you know who Samoa Joe is. A lot of people know who Suzuki is, and that's the same, but it is what it is. Then he also says, I'm pretty knowledgeable and above average casual, and I have no clue who these people are. The only New Japan match I've seen in the past 5 years was Jericho versus Omega. So, and again, that's no one knows better than anybody. That match is the reason I firmly subscribed or had him help me subscribe to New Japan World. I wanted to see Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega. That was
Wrestle Kingdom 12 that opened Jeff and so many people's eyes to this platform, to this stage, to this company known as New Japan Pro Wrestling. And if you watched nothing but that single match, you now at least got a glimpse of what sort of presentation New Japan Pro Wrestling sets.
And may I also add that that same match was on the same card that from top to bottom was the best card ever done since WrestleMania 17.
Many would say that. Agree.
And again, that could be a whole other butterfly effect threaded into this show, but we'll go ahead and I'll touch on what I wanted to touch on. So, again, you know, the fact of the matter is, Chris Jericho calling himself the influencer right now and having pictures, like that match is why. I mean, it's really why he can claim that, because like Noah said, that brought my eyes back into a product that I had kind of teased at, like I was trying to watch the Okada Omega stuff. It's like, I wanted to watch this. And yeah, I've slipped back dramatically in the last couple of years because number one, it's too damn early in the morning for my old sleepy ass. But number two, it's just there's so much other shit to watch. It's hard for me as somebody who's running the channel to be caught up on. But I'm doing my best, damn it. Now,
may I also add to Adam's comment? I feel like you going in calling these guys jobbers is so narrow-minded. Like,
no.
If AEW's taught us anything, look at what they did with Wheeler Yuta, for crying out loud. I mean,
I understand that, but I'm gonna cut you off, James. I'm gonna be rude and cut you off, and I'm sorry. He's not saying himself that they're wrestling yet. He doesn't know who they are, so that JJ used the same comment the other night talking about people being jabrones, and he was cut off at the knees with that comment. So again, I don't think it's out of himself saying that. It's just one of those.
I
get
the
that. Casual fan, they're jabrones. They're jabroni. We don't know who this. Now, granted, you call Suzuki a jabroni to his face, he will punch you through the face and make sure the jabroni gets pulled out of your gray matter. For the record, same with Ishii, same with all these guys, because they're.
Who's this jobber you speak of, motherfucker? Pump straight.
There's one.
Minoru Baba Ganoush from the Japanese Baba Ganoush clan.
All right.
Can that be Suzuki Goon's new name?
Yes, Baba Ganoush clan. That's it.
Baba Ganoush clan. Let's go.
Oh Lord, we've got off the rails.
That was good.
No, that's good. So for those of you PMing me, no, I'm not gonna have a drinking game where anytime Noah says "damn it," anytime James swears, anytime JJ says Baba Ganoush, take a shot, because I'll be on the floor. Okay, I'm just throwing it out there. It's not happening. So no.
Anyway,
I'm straight edge for life, so don't worry about that.
Did you finish your original point, by the way?
No, what I'm saying is they're asking me every time you say professional wrestling, damn it, every time James swears, every time JJ mentions Bobby Ganoush, take a shot. I'm gonna have the hospital.
Jeff's dying of a liver failure. Let's not go there.
Failure will be imminent if I do that all show. God help me.
Nor are we encouraging that type of behavior.
We don't need Jeff doubled over on the floor like Stat Boy was that year when he got drunk for his birthday.
Whoa.
Well, you know,
he will never live that down. God bless him. All right,
birthday celebrations.
Let me
I'll tell that story on my show.
Yeah, Stat Boy rants 1 week from yesterday. Don't forget, guys. On the 28th at 7:00 Eastern, 4 Pacific, right before I make my return. God help me to the WQ review. All right. So anyway, JJ made a good point as far as wrestling's arguably been dead since the end of WCW, and I will give some credence to that. I do think the Ruthless Aggression era definitely helped with that. Wrestling still, as far as WWE still sustaining, and I think the introduction of TNA and Ring of Honor definitely helped wrestling kind of stay above water. But I only say the network era because while WWE has definitely done gangbuster business, we've all seen the stocks go dramatically up, especially the last couple of years with Roman Reigns being the guy. I think that there was a lot of downturn after the Ruthless Aggression era kind of petered out. You figure that happened in about 2011, 2012 when Punk was WWE champion for all that time. And I'm not blaming it on Punk. I'm just trying to give you a point of reference there. I think that version of WWE being what it was, TNA and Impact being so Hogan heavy and so Immortal versus everybody else heavy that people were just like,
they're just WWE diet, basically.
Yeah, that's basically what it was. It was just one of those, like, it was, if you didn't watch WWE, here, watch the WWE guys from 10 years ago. Turn on Spike TV. Here you go.
And then Ring of Honor could have made it big, but then freaking HDNet and Sinclair had to fuck that up. So,
well, the problem with Ring of Honor, and again, I said this when Tony made his announcement that he had purchased it. They have had management issues from the get, be it Feinstein, be it, Marty recently being the booker and having the problems he had with, keeping his hands to himself. ROH has never had a secure guy either in charge of the book or in charge of the books that has been pretty much, even people keep himself clean. I'm going to mute whoever's doing that. There we go. Thank you very much. So it's been a struggle for them as amazing as their in-ring product has been, management has dicked that company with no lube. Just
You could
terrible.
you could go as far as even Jim Cornette, because he was not a helpful hand. He was creatively, but that's as far as that goes. He could
the
not.
problem with the problem with Corny is he has not been a positive influence on anywhere he's been since Smoky Mountain out of the business. I will die on that hill. He contributed those talents to WCW briefly, and then he had his thing with Bischoff, which whatever, and with Ole, which is always an adventure deal with Ole Anderson. And then he was in WWE. But while he was trying to do his thing with Smoky Mountain, trying to be the NWA guy, he was also managing in the company and he was booking in the company. So he was spread so thin, he became like Miracle Whip. It's like, dude, Cornette, like once in a while, but not every damn sandwich. Give me a break, dude. Ugh, gross.
I mean, I will say,
that was Corny's problem. Corny's problem was just Cornette's such a polarizing figure that
yes.
too much of him was just too much for everybody. So,
well, not just that. I will make this defense for him, if nothing else. OVW could have been a positive contribution, but WWE, just like they're doing with NXT now, screwed that up.
Well, and again, WWE running OVW the way that it wanted to be run, it was fine until Cornette started getting all, touchy-feely in a negative way with freaking Santino Marella, and that went sideways. And then, again, as creative a evil genius as Paulie was, always will be, if he's in charge and he's allowed to be in charge, and then management above him goes, yeah, but not really, he's gonna be like, well, no, screw that. I'm in charge. I'm doing the book here. I've got this guy who, you should call up. Please call him up. I'm doing everything with him, but you should put him on TV. And then they put the guy on TV and they put Paulie with him, and then they bury both of them. It was just there was no rhyme or reason to anything they seem to do, and it continues, like you guys said, to this day with NXT 2.0. They had a beautiful, wonderful thing going, and I still say, whatever happened to Triple H for real with medically in the hospital, I still say it was a broken heart, because taking the reins from NXT away from him. I stand by that, and I will die on that hill as well. Triple H not running NXT with his vision, and granted, it was never ever at the end of the day going to be 100% his vision, because no matter how much he did in the past on that brand, in that PC, the sign on the door still says WWE PC. It's the WWE's Performance Center, so it's Vince McMahon's Performance Center. So to answer the question, is pro wrestling on the rise in this country? Yes, and I am here for it. However, you all made a beautiful point at some point during your presentations. Tony needs to focus on Tony's product and not worry about giving us the nostalgia acts. Now, granted, I am loving CM Punk being back, but you can already tell the shine's kind of come off him in a very short amount of time. The same thing was happening to Bryan Danielson and happening to Jon Moxley. Granted, John took himself out of the game, got himself cleaned up. Good on him for the record. John, I would toast you to that, but it seems in poor taste to toast you after what you did. So
the wrong drink, Jeff.
Yeah, wrong. Yeah, here. Club soda. Yay, John. Anyway, Bischoff's biggest problem, and again, me growing up in the Attitude / Monday Night Wars era, and JJ and Mikey watching with me, Bischoff's biggest problem was Bischoff trying to outdo Vince rather than Bischoff doing Bischoff thing.
Right.
And just the long and short of why WCW, that's the secondary reason why WCW was never going to be sustaining. Number one was Turner and want the damn thing in the first place. So it just was what that was. So it is on the rise, but there definitely is a ceiling that until everybody realizes that they don't have to compete with Vince, they just need to be different than Vince.
Exactly.
Everything will be kosher. So
and that's why AEW works with me, because it feels different versus what I always hear, thanks Aaron Riff, from the WWE.
ROH needs a time slot.
Yes.
Yep.
NWA needs some better promotion, a little bit more behind that little engine to get them
Awareness,
out there to more
man.
masses.
Whew.
Awareness is key.
Yep.
And then Impact. I haven't seen Impact for a while, so forgive me.
You're
But
fine.
Impact needs to kind of get the same thing. They still, to my knowledge, have a lot of that stink on them from the Hogan era, even though we're quite a few years removed from it, people, when they think of TNA, they think of Impact, they think of that and how that
Yeah.
really brought them down. I feel like Impact needs something major to get people talking again.
Right. And
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 then and
granted,
then those three things might help push through that ceiling that Jeff just mentioned that there is.
Yeah,
yeah, and
exactly. The thing about Impact Wrestling is after the Hogan Bischoff era, you had like the whole Anthem agreement. They were trying to figure out stuff with different networks like Pop, Destination America. Right now, Impact Wrestling has found a comfort zone, and they're trying to do what they can to build off that, including these pay-per-views. Over the last couple of years, we've seen how the reigns taken by Gail Kim and Scott D'Amore, particularly, have pushed forward both the men and the women of Impact Wrestling. So they just need to find more, as you alluded to, Jeff, for I believe it was Ring of Honor or NWA. Well, honestly, both need at this point awareness. It's more about that, identity. It's how they reach out. It's how you find them. It's how you let people know about them. And there's only so many people that even know Access TV exists.
yeah, and again, Access TV's existence,
Right.
it boggles my mind because I'm pretty sure that's that's owned by Mark Cuban, is it not?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
Okay, because if it is,
I'm gonna look it
Mark
up.
Cuban's one of the richest dudes in the world, definitely in the country. How is his channel not getting more of a rub than that? And even if it's not him, I know it was somebody prominent at one point that owned that station. So, like, god damn, like, why is it not a thing?
It's obvious. It's obvious. He's not.
Cuban
that's
is
not
the
his main
founder,
priority.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so
obviously
even
not
if
his main priority.
Yeah,
Yep.
well, you know what? Well, the thing is, what is? Because Dallas Mavericks are just now starting to get their shit together. But that's a whole other show for
Yeah.
another topic.
I don't know anything
Anyway,
about that.
It's hilarious because Jacksonville Jaguars have sucked for years, but Tony Khan can run a wrestling company. Just saying.
well, that's because Tony's running wrestling while his father's running the football team. That's
That's true.
About to say, yeah.
So, a couple more comments from Adam,
Oh.
and then we'll move on to the next topic here.
I
He says,
well,
"They're a little-
I
ahead.
actually had a question because the CM Punk comment you mentioned. When did this whole thing happen? When does the narrative come that Punk's steam is wearing off? Because like I've been making the argument that you need to make him champion so he could drop the belt to MJF. Like he's got to be the first transitional champion in the company, actually.
And I agree with that statement, but if you look at what he's done since the feud with Max, and again, it's not too far behind us at this point, he really hasn't been featured prominently because they're still focusing on the war between Hangman Page and Adam Cole, baby. So it's one of those,
Well,
if
not
they
anymore.
get through that feud, I say if they don't end that feud to Double or Nothing, I don't know what they're going to do, but I think the next feud after Vegas needs to be Punk chasing, Punk gaining, and then Punk dropping MJF, like you said, James. So
I think they've already started that. They already had the stare down between the two. So I think they're already on that road. Here's the thing, and I think that this is what a lot of people seem to forget in all of this, when they criticize that Punk is not being utilized. Punk wanted to face every single person that he is in a match with. The
Right.
story of Punk from the word go since he's returned to AEW is, can I still be the best in the world? If so, I got to test myself against these cats. That's exactly the story that's being told. The story now is in the crossroads of the young champion that went through hella high water to be champion versus the old timer who fought everybody that has been the best in the world in AEW to get to this point. That is the story. It is a really old school way of doing this. I think a lot of people forget that when they say, "Oh, the steam is wearing off on Punk."
Well,
and
again, I will concede that point. It just felt like for me they were pushing him into the background. But you make a great point. He's doing that. He wants that by design. That way, the shine isn't taken off the World Championship, the TNT Championship, the people that need to be focused on. That way, when he does get his shine back, if you will, and challenge and win the championship, it'll be, oh, cool, our guy that we've missed for so long is back, and then Max just comes along and fucks us all. So, which is the way you need to book Max. So
yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the thing. Punk is the perfect transitional champion right now, and you got it. It's gonna happen.
It is.
It is, and Tony doesn't do it often. So this is one of those instances where because it doesn't happen so often, it's going to have a lot more of an impact when Max gets that belt, and he should get.
In other words, long-term storytelling.
Exactly. I mean,
The hell you say,
keep in
Mustang?
mind. Exactly. Keep in mind, we still haven't gotten that rubber match. Keep in mind that even though it was no DQ, Max got a dubious win by Wardlow. Punk also got a dubious win because of Wardlow.
Yep.
So there has never been that clean finish. There hasn't been yet. So they're going to build
and
to
as
that.
much of a piece of shit heel that Max is, I think defeating Punk in as clean a way as a chicken shit heel like Max can do for the world championship, if Max isn't already over like he is, it'll put him to the moon, as another champion would say. All right.
And it should happen, man. And
yeah.
Well, anyway, go back to the guys.
Remember is that Punk doesn't need to be champion.
No,
he doesn't.
You know, it would be great for him to have it, but he's very much in that part of his career like Edge. You know, everybody is clamoring for Edge to get the belt with the stable he's got, but Edge doesn't need it. Punk is there to make stars. And even though he's beating them, he's making them in the process because they were able to hang with CM Punk.
And while I agree with your point, here's another thing though with that.
And
JJ.
I'd have MJF take the strap off him in Chicago.
Right. Okay. So we're on the same page.
There you go.
All right.
Ooh,
never mind
yeah,
that. I was
hell.
gonna say, yeah. No, absolutely though, because Tony does not have people losing their hometown often. So like again, another trope that doesn't happen often in AEW. So
it would.
So
MJF
by the way,
is
James,
already an amazing heel. Yep. It would just be the perfect way to solidify that heat, get him over even more as a heel, and just start that ball rolling to his championship reign to have him take the strap off Punk in Chicago.
Yeah, exactly. Which would be the biggest star-making moment that Punk has done in his run in AEW thus far, period.
And I will tell you this, inside baseball, if MJF becomes the world champion, there will be drunk Jeff toasting that, because that'll be the greatest thing to happen in the history of that company, because I'll be so proud of Max and so happy for him. But again, I can't say too much. Anyway, before we move to the next topic, I want to thank James for the inadvertent promotion. You can get the Here's the Thing Jeff Meacham shirt along with all of our shirts at merch.com. So thank you for that, James, because you said it about 6 times, and I appreciate it.
I am so sorry. I didn't even realize. Back to Adam's comment, by the way, because I feel bad.
Buy the shirt. Buy the shirt.
Buy all the shirts.
No.
Buy all the shirts. All right. So where are we at here? So are the Ring of Honor belts prominently more featured than the AEW championships? I would say only so now. We lost James, or he's laughing.
No, I dropped my change. Continue.
Okay. So are they? I would say only right now, because Tony's trying to make people remember how an awesome Ring of Honor is and was.
Exactly.
And
still is.
You've got Samoa Joe as your world champion. Right now, Gresham's a little dinged up in the head, and we still don't know what his status is going to be for tomorrow night. We'll find out, I guess, when we get to tomorrow night. And you've got tag champions, and you've got all these champions that are actually actively still kicking ass.
Yeah.
They need to be featured somewhere until Ring of Honor lands, as you gentlemen said very, very eloquently, on a decent TV platform, because with the sale to Tony Khan also goes with the loss of the Sinclair network, which again didn't stretch across the whole country, granted, but it hit quite a few pockets of the country. The only pocket that really suffered was my ass out here in California. So
right.
Ring of Honor at all on regular television. So ever. In the 20 years, we never had regular access to Ring of Honor. So the last few years has been Fight TV or bust for us. So it's been difficult. So I think, yes, Adam, they are right now, but only because of the need to reestablish. Oh, by the way, Ring of Honor whoops that ass, and here's why. You've got FTR as their tag team champions. You've got Joe as their television champion, and Gresham as the world champion. I can't think of any 3 better eras of honor to represent the company right now than those guys as the champions they are, because when they do get back on TV, shit, off we go.
And
you also got
the women's
Yuta,
division as well as already.
You got Wheeler Yuta as the Ring of Honor Pure Champion.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, you got 2 champions right now in Mercedes Martinez and Deonna Purrazzo that are going to have an absolute belter of a pro wrestling match for the title, undisputed title.
And when you figure that the most recent prominent Ring of Honor champion, women's champion, Roxy, had a hell of a night Tuesday night, making her debut on NXT. the future of that company, while granted a lot of it is now with other companies, people remember, and they're going to want to see what happens next. So I think this is why this is happening.
Definitely.
Adam, as far as Impact using the old ring, I could go my entire existence and on this plane of existence and the next 3 without ever seeing a damn six-sided ring again. God help me.
I love the 6-sided ring, dude.
Me too.
6 sides of steel.
Yeah,
I understand that it was visually different. I understand that it was but you know what?
Exactly. It made it different from the competition. It made it
I
stand
get
out.
that, and I get that, and again, this is me being way too inside for my own damn good here. But as a ring builder, as somebody who is friends with basically the entire roster of that company that use a 6-sided ring, no. No, they don't want
they have to fix that. They actually have
they
to
don't want
fix
any
the way
part of
the
it.
ring's built.
AJ Styles, one of the first things he did when they brought the 4-sided ring back was kiss Hogan on the lips. I feel it's like, yes, thank you, Terry. God,
Yeah.
it was awful. And like I said, I put one of those together back in 2005 when I did a commentary for that company. And granted, the setup was horrible. We're in the middle of a rodeo arena, so it was just a long walk for everything. But carrying that ring, beam, and I mean big ass 3-person steel beam by steel beam.
Yeah,
it's it the bounce on it makes 1998's Hell in a Cell ring go, God damn, that's vicious. So I'm just saying, just no. Please don't bring that ring back ever again. One more thing from Adam, then we'll get to the big announcement. He says, supposedly Hangman will drop the title to Punk, and then Punk loses to Adam Cole. Then Cole faces Kenny. We will see. Again, that's a lot of 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. I wouldn't mind seeing those matches, but I think I agree with the room here. And Punk has to drop it to Max. Whatever happens after Max is fine. I don't have a problem with any of those guys being champion or in the championship picture, but it has to be Punk, and it has to be Max beating Punk.
Maxwell Jacob Freeman, MJF, needs to be the first of the 4 pillars to be the AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Sammy Guevara has been holding down the TNT title. Darby Allin has been TNT champion. Diamond Breaker DMD, she's been the AEW Women's World Champion. The only one that has yet to hold a title besides a diamond ring is MJF. This would be the longest in original long-term storytelling and building a star since these two were involved in the inaugural Casino Battle Royale at Double or Nothing 2019, the very first show underneath the AEW branding. It has to happen the way we prophesized for it to all make sense and come together. They planted the seeds for years, and it really came ahead with what happened with Punk and MJF. This has to be what happens next. As far as Omega and Cole, that's a whole different saga when it comes to Bullet Club, the Elite, and Undisputed. Wait and see how that plays out, but in the meantime, Kenny Omega, he needs to stay away until he's 100%.
You gotta remember as well, there is another line of championships that they could fight for if you really wanted them to fight for a title now with Ring of Honor.
That is true too.
Exactly.
There's also the partnership with New Japan. They can easily give the belt back to Kenny now. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility. So if you want a world title program between those two, that belt actually probably makes a lot more sense than a world title. Right now, the world championship is all about Punk and Max after Punk. That has to be the goal. And Hangman as well, because you know they got to continue that story between Hangman and MJF.
Yep.
That's how this whole that was the first major feud that started in AEW. Was that feud. Because they were because they were in the Battle Royal and freaking Adam eliminated Max last in the Battle Royal, the first ever Battle Royal of the company. So, you know, there's that too.
The only other person I would want to see Punk face off against and drop it to when he gets the belt, and it's just personal desire. I'm sure Jeff will co-sign on me once I say his name, but Bryan Danielson.
Oh my gosh! Oh my god!
Yeah,
the dream.
And I only agree with that because as often as we did get it within the Titan umbrella, we have yet to see CM Punk versus Bryan Danielson in the last 10 years. So
yeah, that's
yes,
true.
please.
Yes.
I would actually argue that you could do that match I would actually do that on a TV special more so than a probably on a pay-per-view.
I'd be okay with Punk getting the title and dropping it to Max still, but facing Brian on a TV first.
Yeah, like a TV
Gotta
special.
happen.
Think about it. Offer at Stadium. He took on Omega. Winner is coming. He took on Heyman and Adam Page. Brian Danielson is your special TV guy and YouTube guy for that matter. He can do it all with
100%.
anybody.
Yeah, that's for true.
And just the of Brian with Regal versus CM Punk. As much as Punk loves William Regal, yes, please.
Yeah.
Jesus.
100%.
All right. Without
Enough
any
said.
further ado, I'm going to turn the mics over, and I'm going to be so much of a dick as to mute everybody else's mics so he can get his shit in here. I'm going to do that just because I can, because I'm the boss, damn it. It's my network. JJ, you have something you want to divulge to the world regarding the future of everything and anything Casa Dietine. So, my friend, let me get you single screened here. It's going to be Noah for a second. Just bear with me because I'm working on technology still. There we go. Come on, move. Maybe. No, we're going to be like that. Come on. There it goes. JJ, my friend, the floor is yours.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of time has passed since I last did a review show, a Renegade review show. Last time I presented anything on the Casa D18 Studios channel that wasn't some kind of simulcast of something that was here on the Jeff Meacham network. But effective May 2nd, Casa D18 Studios will be back in production. We'll be bringing Renegades reviews to you on a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday basis as we kick off the month of May with none other than the filmography of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as we celebrate his 50th birthday, his 50th trip around the world, if you will, around the earth. It just made sense for that to be the month where we came back. And again, I swear to God, this was not intended as an April Fool's joke. I had all intent and purposes of coming back on April 1st. Just situations beyond my control did not allow me to do that. I've been pretty upfront about things on here. I'm still in the process of looking for a place with my girlfriend who was in the chat room earlier. Thank you for joining us, sweetie. I hope you're still here. But, where I am currently has allowed me the use of this office here in order to do open mic nights, do watch alongs, do Ask the Dads, and even go ahead and start canning episodes for Renegades Reviews to be back. I've spent the greater part of today canning episodes. Jeff, if you have it loaded in, why don't you go ahead and hit the May trailer so everyone can get a look at what is to come here on the Casa D18 Studios channel. And you want me to stall and stretch because even though I sent you the video this afternoon, you didn't load it.
He didn't have it.
God damn it, Meacham.
I'm trying. Hang on. Go ahead. Keep going.
Well, at least unmute everybody else while you do that so that they can join in the chit chat here.
Hi, it's me.
Hello.
Freaking Jeff, I swear to God, you had one job, Meacham.
But hey, listen, in fairness, I kind of figured I kind of figured he was busy because he also didn't put my he didn't make it a Trimulcast like we originally intended. So it's okay.
Where did you send it to me on personal Facebook or work Facebook?
I think I sent it on personal.
Check both.
Right, hang on.
Check both. Anyway,
this could be a great segue into the iPhone debate.
Hey, by the way, may I read a headline while Jeff looks for the intro real quick? Because as many people know, a lot of people know I did a video on Big Swole being a complete lying, conniving person.
Oh Lord, here we go.
Big Swole. This is a headline from Cultaholic. Says, "My line's still open for Tony Khan and AEW." Oh, is it now? Is it now? You don't fucking say. Fucking. Unbelievable. I can't wait that. That's an impromptu topic because I want to read that off just because I love when I'm right. I love when I'm right. I love when I'm right about shit like this.
I love when I'm right too. I
Fair
hate
enough.
it when I'm wrong.
Right before the fall,
No
gentlemen.
comment, Mike.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, Renegade, that's great news. I'm glad to see that your things are moving forward and you're able to bring back that wholesome content that you enjoyed 2 and 2 in a setting that works for you. So I wish you all the best in those endeavors. And again, I'm not a sportsman. I am not a movie man. I am just a simple man and a lifelong fan of professional wrestling. Damn it! But I digress. But I do support you, Stepway, and all of y'all your projects. And if there was any way I could help, I would be happy to help you with it too.
Well, thank you very much for that.
Well, thank you.
Noah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And that goes for
Uh-oh,
anybody
Russia.
on this network.
It's okay. We're here. K&H show. Big boys in the house. Hey, what's up, man? That's my boy Hammers. How you do? But yeah. I guess we're just chilling, right? What's the next topic? I'll help Jeff out while he tries.
Well, I mean, we can just shoot the breeze on anything right now. You can talk about. Oh, here we go.
Oh, perfect. Thanks,
Oh,
Jeff.
yeah, it's the phone.
All right. Oh, it's great. I love you for that one, Jeff. Okay, so hold on. I want everybody to see this. This is the sights of a broken old iPhone that no longer is in functional use, at least for right now, because somehow it is not broken, but one piece came off of this piece, and now I have a broken phone because this thing was not fully connected because this phone's a piece of dog shit. And the guy who tried to attempt to fix it was also a piece of dog shit, and thus I now have a new phone, and it's an iPhone 8, and it was honestly a blessing in disguise because Jeff knows more than anything, iPhone 6S or any version of the iPhone 6 is the absolute shits of an iPhone. If you have never used this before in your life, you owe it to yourselves to avoid this thing at all costs for your own mental sanity going forward. I swear to God, this is one of the worst products you could ever get from anything Apple ever. I already have an iPhone 8, which is also an older phone. This thing runs like a dream compared to what the iPhone 6S ran like, which, by the way, wasn't very good to begin with. Don't ever buy this phone. If you are a content creator, that is a phone you avoid like the plague. Like it's COVID. You avoid it. You avoid it. You don't get it. You see that thing, you run away in fear. You see that thing, that's a Michael Jackson of phone use, okay? You run away. You run away. That thing is the worst.
Well, stay tuned for James Hebert and his next article on Tech Radar, cursing iPhone 6s and where they stand. I don't even know what to say.
Sorry about that, stat boy. I stole your gimmick for a second.
Hey, I love a good rant. I know that. I mean, when it comes to ranting, that's like,
I know, man. That's your gimmick.
Hey, if you want to be the next Stat Boy, be my guest. I will gladly pass the torch.
Phone boy rants.
Well, as somebody who deals with technology for a living, I have an iPhone 7 Plus, and I'll just leave it at that. You do you.
Hey, is it good? Does it help you?
I mean, I use it for email because I don't believe in everything else people use as iPhones
well,
for.
hold on. Does it at least operate functionally? Like for text messages and for email, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Not the iPhone 6!
All right.
Jeff knows I'm right.
Okay. All right. Before I offer my thoughts on the iPhone 6, because I do have them. Goodness gracious me. JJ, now that I've completely botched your entire announcement by messing everything up, I do have the video ready now. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, well, if you're watching as a children and it's past midnight for most of you people in the country, go to bed, you little shit. However, for those of you still with us, thank you. Here's what's to come. You're getting May 2nd on the Renegades Reviews.
My brother, you know, I've been thinking about something. We've talked about this. Let's give the people more. Oh, they're gonna f it up.
Yeah, buddy. There you go.
Shout out to the retro video game version of that 8-bit. I love that.
It's the only thing I could use so we didn't get pinged for copyright.
That's right. 8-bit is our copyright friend. I tell you what. Oh, Lordy. All right.
Don't go
8-bit gaming rules, even in this generation with y'all stupid FPS first shooting major online role-playing nonsense. Never mind, I'm not trying to go into a rant.
And I'm not going to say where I got the dialogue in the beginning because I don't want to, like, the companies to be sniffing around and figure it out, but if you know, you know.
That's right.
There you go.
So, but before I go into the reply to James's rant, because like Caesar said, that was definitely hilarious, James. Bravo, very good.
God.
Lordy. Okay, so I will have tomorrow night on what the hell are we doing? Oh, Mike Night Part 2. Wow, okay. It's only 2 deep. It's gonna be a long weekend, folks. Okay, anyway.
Oh boy.
I'll be tomorrow night after Rebellion. I will have a complete list for you guys of where you can watch those movies because we all know we be broke ass foes in this group. So if you don't have to pay for a full subscription price, we will find a way for you to watch those movies. All right. Now, the iPhone 6. I mean, goodness gracious. So I will also lump in the iPhone SE to that because that's between the 6 and 7, but they were just as much a pain in the ass as anything else. I'll put it like this, and I will just leave it very, very simply for everybody. The iPhone 6 was such a piece of shit that when we finally got my kiddo his first smartphone upon leaving the world of primary / elementary / grammar school and venturing into middle school, we got him an iPhone 6, which I had advised against personally because I knew how bad just the sheer battery power of those mucker feathers were in the first place. Mm-hmm. Good grief. Just awful. And again, I was against it, but it was what it was. We hated those phones so much that when he lost that phone, I was like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
They are just such a piece of garbage. I was so glad when because originally we got him a used 6 and we lost it. We then passed on my iPhone SE that I had to him when I got my iPhone XR, I think is which would be the 10. You know, they had to make it fancy because it was a 10, so they had to use the Roman numeral because they're like wrestling. Everything's fancy when it's Roman numeral. Whatever. And I again didn't bat an eye when he lost that one because then I gave him my XR. I actually have the 12 Pro now, and I love this damn phone to pieces. I really do. It's been such a godsend to me running this channel, running everything that we're doing. So I'm very much appreciative of the 12. Actually, anything past the XR I've found to be very useful on the Apple side of things. Again, I don't use any of their Apple products but the phone. I've not gone into the world of, the air tags for finding stuff because I lose shit all the time. Not in the iPads, any of those things. I didn't have an iPod when they were still hot. It's like I didn't have those. I was never an Apple guy. I was fine with my Android, but man, I got the iPhone SE and I liked it, but I'm very happy with my Apple phone. And if you are out there in the world like K&H show and you have an iPhone 6, I'm very happy for you that you're happy with your phone. But if you are out there in the world and you have an iPhone 6 and you don't like your iPhone 6, please implore your parents, your guardian, your significant other to go to Apple Store and make it okay. Yeah, because they're horrible. And Mikey, hang on, James, Sapo, go ahead. Okay. Sapo, you had your hand up. Go ahead, brother.
I'm just going to piggyback on you and say, the same thing with the iPhone, iPad, all that stuff, iPod, everything, Apple. I barely even liked Apple computers back in the day, so that's why I go towards Androids, Samsungs. They're just an easier phone for me because one thing with the iPhone that I hate is it's got that center button that's your home button, and you don't have like a back button or anything. Now I will give iPhone some credit. Their camera capabilities are amazing, and Samsungs are trying to copy that. So I would like to maybe take pictures with an iPhone, but as far as the actual phone quality or what they can do, I could care less. I'm sick and tired of hearing about, oh, I've got, and then everybody rushes out to get the next one. I mean, what number iPhone are they on?
I agree with that.
They're on 13 right now.
Yeah. I currently have this is the Samsung Galaxy A23. I know
Dude,
it's
I want
not
the same
the
one.
it's not the coolest phone in the world. I've got 3 cameras on it. I love it to death. It gets me where I need to go. I text, I Facebook, I do have a few games on here. I love this thing. This is before I had the Samsung J Star whatever, and that was the most inexpensive Samsung I could get my hands on because I wanted to be cheap. I wanted to be frugal. This one I splurged a little bit. Of course, the Galaxy whatever that are out there, I like to take it down a little bit. I don't have to rush out to spend $800,000-$900,000 on a phone. So there you go on that.
Right.
That's fair. I will
When
say.
When did I just walk into an IT meeting for
Let me just put this in perspective. yo, I'm gonna pull up Max Casser for a second. Listen. God damn it, I lost my rhyme. No.
The iPhone 6 is a piece of crap, and James was fixing to tell you why it's whack.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. What Jeff is saying, don't get that brick. Don't ever fall back on the 6. There you go.
No.
Don't ever fall back on the 6.
The acclaimed has not arrived. James, don't quit your day job.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I did a rap. Shut up. I just can't freestyle.
Yeah, clearly.
I cannot freestyle for the life of me.
So, all I'm going to say is, as long as your phone does basic capabilities that you need to actually proceed in your life,
iPhone 6 did.
Do you?
Just putting that out there.
In my case, I do, because having the 12 Pro with the extra storage space has helped run this chip.
No, I agree with that. Extra storage space is great. Extra storage space is great.
And even the SE, when I had it for as long as I had it, the thing is, I could have never started back on YouTube without anything past the XR, because having the 6 when I did that would have been awful, just awful.
Oh my God. Yeah, don't even get me started.
So let me say, and again, JJ's reminding us, so I'll go ahead and throw it in the chat one more time. Again, if you guys want to introduce your own topic, please feel free to donate that $5 to the super chat pool, because I don't need alcohol money, but I will take it. And if you want to be on the screen with this, you can also have donate $10, half $10, whatever you want to do. So anyway, yeah.
And then Jeff Meacham will just drink alcohol for free because you're on our show. So
$25
If you
donation
come on screen and talk, by all means, I'll go ahead and just keep drinking and mute my damn self, whatever works.
And for a $25 donation, Jeff will embarrass everybody on the panel and do karaoke to Real American.
Oh, hell!
I'll do that, dude. I'll do that shit sober.
So yes, again, take me remind me, JJ. If we get $25 in super chats before the end of, I'll say even the weekend this time. That's how generous I'm feeling today. For the end of the weekend, if we get $20 super chats, I will karaoke Real American to close out night 2 of Open Mic Night tomorrow night.
I'll produce it.
Oh, Lord.
Brother. All right, so let me just say this.
Mikey's like, karaoke, I'm down.
Right?
I've been wanting to do
doesn't
karaoke
sing.
out here.
So,
We have
JJ,
a nice little bar right across the street from where I live, and they do karaoke on, I think, Tuesday nights.
May I talk about the Big Swole thing, Jeff? By all means, it's all your show.
Let's save that for night 2, because I definitely want to get into that. But let's save one more night, because JJ knows what I'm going to introduce here. He has an idea, because we talked about it, but we were going to wait until they made the official announcement. JJ, bonus topic, Vegas based.
Really?
Right.
They've made the announcement.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. I got it right here in front of me.
Okay, before we get too far into that, I'm going to send you a couple of pictures that I need you to load up for this.
Okay.
While he does that, may I shit on Big Swole?
Go ahead. Okay.
Come into your personal page, Jeff.
Yay.
Personal page? Okay.
Okay. So you guys
Go ahead,
send that. I'm just gonna read this as quickly as possible, just so that way people understand where the hell Big Swole was coming from the entire time. Because as I said, she was a lying and conniving person. Big Swole's exit from AEW in late 2021 was hardly smooth. This is by Cultaholic, by the way, by Jack Actons. After departing AEW due to an expiration. Sorry, that wording is a little weird there in pink. Expiration of her contract in late 2021. Big Swole found herself in the middle of a social media storm with AEW President Tony Khan. However, despite this dialogue between the two appearing to have significantly ended any relationship that Big Swole and Tony Khan could have, Swole has admitted that she still has a line open for AEW and Khan, saying the following on The Sessions with Renee Paquette. Oh, of course. Yeah, right away, trying to get back into the door by talking to the wife
Of course,
of wrestler. So love for the people there at AEW. Yeah, sure you do. That's why you freaking spoiled the freaking ending of the tournament, the TBS title tournament, because you weren't the black woman picked. I still have friends and everything like that. I'm supportive. Yeah, sure you are. I still watch their matches and everything, Swole said. Everything that went down was just kind of a surprise for me. I didn't necessarily know that Tony Khan, would react like that, but I mean, that's just his God-given right. Yeah, just like it was your God-given right to spoil the ending of the TBS title tournament because you weren't the black woman picked. Anyway, I continue. But my line is still open for TK for AEW because I don't like to burn any bridges. Yeah, that's why you burn the bridges by, let me repeat this again, spoiling the TBS title tournament because you weren't the black woman picked. Let me continue. I just like to tell the truth. Yeah, I guess so. And then immediately contradicts yourself by saying this as well. These are my opinions. These are my experiences. And I feel that they shouldn't have been blown out of proportion as much as they have. Well, hate to tell you, sweetie, but it's kind of hard to do that when you were spiteful to a fellow black woman who won the TBS title tournament, so you decided to spoil it. Sorry. I feel that people were doing more invalidated than actually listening and comprehending what I was saying. I wasn't one of those people. I comprehended everything that you said. I comprehended everything that Tony said. I gave shit to both ends. I just gave more shit to you because, again, you spoiled the ending of the TBS title tournament because you weren't the black woman picked. So, yeah, I don't even need to read anything else on that one. You can read the rest of the article yourself because I know we're probably pressed for time, but who was right?
We're not pressed for time.
Who was right? Who was right?
Yeah, you know. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So let me get us back into five-way mode here. All right. So let me get these loaded in while I. So
What are you
as
reading,
you all
Noah?
are.
I'm sorry.
Anybody wants to
I'm
read
sorry.
it?
What?
Oh,
John
he's
Moxley's
reading
book.
the Mox book. No way. Oh, that's freaking brilliant.
I'm still trying to finish reading this thing, actually. It's a great read.
That is a great read, legitimately. Anyway,
And
were you
to,
all set, Jeff? Did I give you enough time?
I'm almost there. But let me just say this while these are loading. To talk to the person in the chat room, you're allowed back because you're going to behave yourself. If you're not going to behave yourself, you can just go away now. Anyway, very good. Okay, let me just get these all loaded in here because this is something that's definitely going to piss off a lot of people, and I really don't care because it is my network, and if I'm going to bury myself with open casket and with gusto. All right. So a lot of you remember last week we had the general manager of a company that is going to be starting their official run within the business coming up next month out in Las Vegas. And again, I'm not going to give them any more press than that because they don't deserve it at this point. But I will say this. The people that were part of this company that I interviewed last week on the show, one of them I've had nothing but great talks with. Her and I got along very well. Matter of fact, she sought my family, my dad and I out when we were up in Las Vegas back in March for the purposes of promoting the company. And I was happy to do it because I know better than anybody what it's like for a company to try to get off the ground and try to make a go of it in this business. It is a mucker father of a business trying to get anything off the ground, especially with what resources you have or what little resources you have. Now, when we went off air last week, after, as JJ mentioned, one half of the main event of this event basically shutting us down and acting like a prima donna, which I was very offended by, quite frankly, and by a co-founder, co-partner, whatever you want to call the person that was on with them, gave me bare minimum verbiage. Didn't really acted like I wasn't worthy of the time that I was allowing them. And again, I say that now with a hint of arrogance on my voice, and I'm not trying to sound arrogant or cocky. The fact of the matter is this: your guys' company that you're going to be running out of the Sahara Theater, which again, I'm not shitting on the Sahara. I love me the Sahara. Frank Sinatra sang there more times than the Sands even in Vegas, okay? But you guys are running in a time of year, in a time of wrestling where you guys, I'll even be one better. You girls, you ladies, your value seating section in a little bitty theater are $84.50. That's your bare minimum price. Then you go up to $104.50 for general. Premium is $134.50. And if you want to sit on the stage and be VIP and enjoy access, you're paying $154.50. Now, the reason I bitch about this and the reason I single this company out is twofold. Number one, again, I was treated very much like shit, in my opinion, and it could very well be just my opinion. If you guys watched the show last week, you may have a different opinion. If you've been in the conversation with me afterwards, you probably have a different opinion than that, and that's fine. If you don't, that's fine too. But I will say this: same city, two much bigger companies that are well established at this point are as follows. A week after this show that I'm talking about right now, AEW is running T-Mobile Arena, which is at this point the largest indoor arena as far as venues go, as far as name value go in the city of Las Vegas. There's the seating chart. There's the stage layout. Okay. JJ provided this, so thank you, JJ. I appreciate that. That ticket is on the floor. Am I reading that right, Jay?
Go back to the first graphic because it says it's section 8.
Okay,
so
section 8,
section 8 is like the first curve around there.
Yeah,
it's just off the floor because there's 4-1, 4-2. But
okay,
the first curve around there is got section 8 on it.
So within the seats that are still built into the arena, you're paying what you're paying to be hobnobbing with the stars of this other company. And let me be clear. The stars of this other company, the two biggest names in this company, one who is the authority figure, if you will, is the daughter of a Hall of Famer in WWE. Cool on her, but she's not even wrestling on the show as far as I know. The other person who is your host and hostess, again, I will never shit on this person because I adore her and her family. But she's doing just that. She's hosting and she's ring announcing. She's not wrestling. Nor is her other vocation in life performing at this show as far as I know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's AEW already trumping you guys on floor plan. Now, less than a full month later, WWE's coming into the football stadium across down the street, Allegiant Stadium, where they had SummerSlam last year, and it was a Rocket Buster show. This is sure to be a Rocket Buster show because they're going to be in Las Vegas, right? Now, JJ, what section are we going to give me here on the on the Money in the Bank graphic?
Okay, so I know that the
425
kind of, yeah, it's kind of zoomed out here, but you can kind of see the little black square in the middle there where the ring is.
Yes.
So if you go up from there to the very first blue section on the floor, that is the pricing that Jeff is about to show you for this.
Yeah, floor 25 for the stadium show run by WWE is $200. So you're pretty close for a WWE Big 5 event, and you're paying $50 more than this company's asking for from their debut audience.
Yeah, where the person with any real notoriety from their brand as far as actually in the ring wrestling was a tough enough reject.
Whoa. Again, I'm perfectly okay with crapping on what they've done, but I don't want to undersell anybody within the company. She has been on Impact Wrestling. She has wrestled around the world, and she's a multiple-time champion and currently in multiple companies. So I'm not saying that is her fault. Her fault was coming on my show and rejecting outright any conversation about the origins of her time in the business. That's the path she took. And the fact that it wasn't even allowed to be brought up was just, again, it wasn't that it was dismissed. I'm cool with that because she's done quite a bit since then. It was the way it was dismissed. And that I have a problem with 100%.
The point I was trying to make, though, was that Money in the Bank is WWE superstars.
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest name for this company, while she may be successful in other organizations, the furthest she got in that company was a tough enough reject.
Yeah, and I honestly don't remember anything.
That's where I'm trying to go with that comparison.
I got you. And I don't understand. I don't know how far they went in Impact or wherever they went, but the bottom line is, and again, this is going to sound me coming off as bitter, and maybe it is because I felt like I was disrespected because when I had them on my show, I prominently featured them, and
that was the first time hearing about it, and I want to kill a bitch. So go ahead, continue.
Jeff is being way more diplomatic than I would be if I had the microphone because I was beyond pissed having watched that interview, and I immediately began getting these images for this diatribe when it was going to happen. I'm only taking a step back because Jeff is taking care of it all, but my diatribe would be a lot more foul-mouthed and venom-raged if I was the one controlling the microphone.
Oh, mine would be too.
Yeah, and I told him that I was not going to fully poop on this until they released ticket prices, because even what I was told off air in confidence, like, you know what, maybe the seats further back will be less expensive and I won't have to be so much of a dick. Well, you know what? I'm being a dick. I don't give a fuck anymore. Because if you're going into it, and again, it's an intimate little theater, and again, I will never crap on the Sahara and their reefer. That place looks amazing right now. I can't wait to go see it. Maybe I'll go see Eddie Griffin there. Maybe I'll go see the Magic Mike show if I take a girl there, because I ain't gonna see it my damn self. But I outright refuse to pay that much for something that is grossly untested. They have not even had a single person go into the ring yet. They have not had a single person, show anything except talking. And with all due respect to the fair sex, ooh, it's a pretty face that can also wrestle. That's great. WWE has the same people, and they're charging the same price for one of their big 5 shows. Hey, that's great. AEW's got the same amount of people with the even better ability, I dare say, and they're running their flagship show there a week later.
Hell, you can go to Impact Wrestling right now and get it a lot more cheaper, and they probably have the second best women's division in the world. So, what's that?
I would even agree with that. So, my point is not to come off as, oh, I was disrespected, even though I was. My point is to not say that I wasn't promoted equally as some of the other companies, the other podcasts you appeared with, even though you did just that. My point is, if you're going to hype up something like that, you need to know your audience, and y'all don't. You just don't.
Clearly.
So yeah. Hey, next time, and this is to Jesse, don't invite guests that do not deserve to be invited without going through Jeff first. Okay.
Well, and again, I'm not particularly mad at, it's Jenny, not Jesse, but that's okay. I'm not mad at her because, like I said, she and her kin were nice to me and nice to mine. And I always say it takes a lot once you've got a good rapport with me and mine to get onto my shit list. However, her business partner and half of her main event treated not only me, but treated my broadcast partner and my ex-roommate, and my brother like absolute shit based on the dismissal of this question and the way we were talked to during the course of the interview. So I had a problem with that. I addressed it. It is what it is. And I consider it done. So
I mean, we're not even going to name. We're not even going to mention them by name.
I'm not. No, because I've already said basically who it was. And like I said, her and I together on a conversation was great. But the fact that her and I went almost an hour talking just about everything. In fact, I had 2 other people on there. We couldn't even really go 30 because I was not prepared by their problem, not mine. Because I was not giving any notes. I was not giving anything. I wasn't told who's going to be with her on the show until morning of. That's a problem for me. And that's out of her hands. So I don't fault Jenny at all for that. So anyway. All right. I want to get the viewers back into this. This is
can we have a bit of an uplifting happy moment?
Well, like I said, we have topics I wanted to address, and I want to stick to foreplay here. So let me.
It's a shout out. Check the private message.
I will say
private chat here or Facebook, Mikey. What are you talking about?
Facebook. I will say the brothers, you, me, and JJ.
Without me saying too much personally, because this is the first I'm hearing about this, and I'm really not happy about it. This is as much as I will say without going too much into detail, like I did about the iPhone 6. There you go.
Okay, so
there you go.
I'm sorry, James. You know what, dude? In the chat room, you're bugging, and I don't really care if I get railroaded for it later because you're just being an asshole at this point, and thanks, bye. Okay. Anyway, carry on.
What's our next topic? I mean, I said my thing. I said my thing. I was just giving them the bird to the people that disrespected you. That's all.
Oh, thank you. Okay. I wasn't watching. I was trying to block the asshole that was just chirping. Okay,
yeah. Okay. No, the whole point was for you to see it. Hey, to the 2 people who disrespected Jeff. Okay, cool.
Yeah. And you know what? Not even so much me because I was ready, but JJ's question was just outright dismissed as, oh, "How dare you?" It's like, dude, screw you. Anyway, all right.
Well, I mean, look, not even just JJ, like just all of us. Like, I'm hearing this. You don't disrespect family. I've been taught that way. You don't disrespect family. This is my family. No. I mean, it's not in the sense that they're blood, and I'm doing this out of the kindness of my heart, but this is still my damn family. I've been watching Jeff since 2008. So you don't disrespect that motherfucker because this guy has been around for a long time and doing this for a long time. Don't ever disrespect my boy again. Or you'll have me to answer to. And I ain't going to be kind next time on this fucking program if you do it again.
That's right.
Respect, James. Calm down. I'm just going to say this. Treat others the way you wish to be treated.
Exactly.
Don't be an asshole.
And that's why I will not shit on Jenny. And again, there's this great example. Somebody brought up in a private chat to me earlier today that it's also Bo Cooper's birthday. And a lot of people have a lot of opinions about Braun Bo Cooper. But at the end of the day, Bo Cooper was welcomed into my home and treated not only me, but my father with yes, sir, no, sir, thank you, sir, respect.
Cool.
That goes a long way with me, which is why Undertaker's speech just hit me right in the damn old school feels.
Yeah, same, respect, bro. And I'm not even old school.
And loyalty go a long way, man. And whatever people think about Bo, and I've heard a lot of shit talked about Bo that I didn't need to hear shit talked about Bo because I happen to like Bo personally. So happy birthday, Bo Cooper, by the way. Let me go ahead and throw it up there for you. I got my glasses.
By the way, one comment that you absolutely need to put up here. Apparently Hammers, the K&H show, was thinking about going to that event. Good thing he's not going.
Seriously, take the bare minimum that you were going to have to spend at that show and put it into part of your Money in the Bank or your Double or Nothing ticket.
Yeah, seriously, do that.
Or take the money you would have spent for a on the stage ticket, the $154.50, whatever. Buy a ticket for both, because you can get a cheap seat for both those shows for that price.
Seriously, I was telling JJ. I
pointed out that on the charts you can get a decent seat, maybe not on stage, so you wouldn't be as close to AEW or WWE as you would be.
You get to see it,
but you would be close enough for just a smidgy more than this untested entity. whatever it was, $180, $190 for AEW, 200 and
Oh.
something for WWE.
Apparently he did. I think he did. Apparently,
So
according to
good.
Hammers.
Good. We're glad.
Good for Hammers.
Now, as far as what you just said, I am, and again, I don't know if you guys can see because the camera's kind of watching, but I'm this close right now because back in the back of the opposite end zone from the stage, up in the 400s, it's $25 for Money in the Bank. That is not even a freaking drop in the bucket for me. And Vegas ain't that far away. And I have a voucher I was going to use. I bought a bus ticket for this show that I'm good. I have a voucher for a year. Money in the Bank's the first weekend in July. The kid's with his mom. I'm about halfway there as it is now, for real, for Money in the Bank. And I ain't never seen a Money in the Bank match live. So, boom, there you go. All right.
I have.
I wish
I know. I remember you at the first one, Muckerfeather. I
You
remember.
didn't see, there wasn't a Money in the Bank at Mania 24?
Okay, so I didn't see Money in the Bank pay-per-view live. Sorry. Whatever. You know what? I'm 3 of these deep. Piss off. Anyway.
Where are we? Where are we on topic?
Before we go to the next topic, I just have to point out that you've made a fan in my lady because she loves your diatribes. She thinks you're fucking hilarious.
Well, thank you. I try. I try, and I have my autistic tendencies, but I try.
Nothing but respect, James. My best friend's autistic, so nothing but respect.
Yeah, of course.
We have to keep James on a tight leash, but every once in a while we just let that thing loose and just let him run at that mailman and bite his fucking balls off. So there you go. All right, very good. That's right. He is
Like
a
DMX.
rabid dog, and
With a
we
dog
are here for it, ladies and gentlemen. That's right.
What a dog get?
This is why JR steered the ship at commentary. That's why I'm just staying quiet.
Yeah.
Well, no, Jared had to steer the ship because King was too busy looking at breasts once he got divorced. Anyway,
I'm her neighbor, but without the crack. Anyway.
God! All right.
What's our next topic?
And we've gone off the freaking rails.
Fired. We're all fired, all of us. That's it. It's done. We're done. Okay.
Roll the credits.
Sorry, boys.
Good night, everybody. That's it.
End of the road. We're
Turn on Monday for a Sato of Renegades reviews because that's all we've got left at this point now. Everything else has been destroyed.
Yeah, we're at a crossroads, guys. Call the Rhodes Brothers. We're finished.
Oh Lord, keep on stepping.
It's only smoke and mirrors. Okay, that's
Puns.
So
man.
this was supposed to be a viewer poll that went out. This is why the graphic looks like it is, but I forgot because I've been busy. But I do want to talk about this because this is important, and it's such a multiple answerable topic that I just feel it would be awesome. In the opinion of the room and in the chat room, because we've actually got viewers back since I went off on my little diatribe and James co-signed on it, so I thank you both. Which all time, and we're going back to before the word faction was actually a thing, I suppose, because we're going back to even the Bobby Heenan family days or the first family with Jimmy Hart. But which, in everybody's opinion, and I invite everybody in the chat room to please play along here, whether you want to come on screen and donate or you want to just chat along in the chat room. That's cool too. Whatever y'all want to do. It's 9:45. I don't give a shit. Whatever y'all want to do. Whatever. Which is wrestling's all-time greatest faction? And based on the order I went in earlier, I will go in reverse this time. And I will start with the man who gave me the chutzpah, if you will, to have that diatribe go off. JJ, in your opinion, which is the greatest wrestling faction to have existed? There you go. Throw it up, brother, by all means. Now, are we talking over the course of history or one particular incarnation?
I'm talking over the course of history. I'm including Jeff Jarrett. I'm including Stabby Sid Vicious. I'm including Paul Roma. That's right. Pour you another one, Meacham.
Pour me a double for Paul Roma. Fuck that shit. Anyway, carry on.
I'm including every incarnation, but specifically the very first two, Flair, Arn, Ole, Tully, JJ, and then replacing Ole with Wyndham.
Yep.
And then the final incarnation, Flair, Arn, Benoit, Malenko, Mongo.
Was Mongo in there?
He was.
He was.
Damn
believe it or
right.
not, he
Damn
was.
right he was. Damn
Those
right.
three in particular always are going to get praise from me. The final incarnation, because that was the only one I actually saw during my fandom. Everything else I've seen via the network or DVD, the Four Horsemen set that came out, the definitive Ric Flair sets, etc. Wrestling's Greatest Stables.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, it all comes down to the fact that they were one of, if not the first. There would be no NWO without them.
Yeah.
There would be no D-Generation X without them. There would be no Evolution without them.
Certainly.
Because all Evolution was the Wish version of the Four Horsemen.
Yep.
No, they weren't the Wish. They were
Hey.
WWE's version. Let's not shit on Evolution that hard. God damn, they weren't
Yeah, it was
fortunate.
Hey,
actually good.
don't get me wrong. I love me some Evolution. We're going to talk on Monday on Ask the Dads
fuck me too
about
strong. Goddamn.
Randy Orton.
Yes.
So, I'm all about me some Evolution, but at the end of the day, they were the generic version of the Horsemen.
Mm.
Were they?
It is
I
what
feel
it
like
is.
They were nothing like the Horsemen.
Anyway, one at a
And
time,
then
damn it.
you've got the fact that they came together by sheer happenstance.
Yeah, it's true.
Everybody needed to get a promo in like 2 minutes,
Yep.
and they just cut the promo, and Arn made that off-the-cuff comment, about you look around and you see all of us, and you'd have to go back to the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, and everything just kinetically fell into place.
That's fair.
For the record, James, yes, Mongo was there, but even Arn on the DVD said Mongo one day went to a club in Florida. We never saw his ass again. So it's kind of like Mongo kind of just appeared off the face of the earth. So God bless Steve for getting divorced and getting him some. Good on Steve Mongo McMichael. Damn it. That's professional football players. Damn it. Anyway, so I
No, it was like, that's
again,
gimmick infringement.
Nah, it's
know
all
what?
good.
cheers
It's
on that
gimmick
note,
infringement. It's gimmick infringement. That's over his head. Over his head. All right, good.
But yeah,
Somebody,
I mean,
somebody get James a fedora and a cane.
There will
Why?
be no.
for
No.
me, you're hard pressed to find any faction, stable, whatever you want to call it, that is going to top the Horsemen.
I got
There's
one in mind.
close seconds. I like what K&H says. NWO, Dangerous Alliance, definitely a run for the money. The DX Army, that's probably 4 of the top 5 right there.
No doubt.
Yeah.
What the 5th one would be, I'm sure, is probably the biggest question. Personally, I'd probably lean towards the Nation of Domination, specifically the second version with Farouk, Rock, D'Lo, Mark, and Godfather.
Yep.
But the Four Horsemen are it. If anybody's got something that's going to argue me on that, by all means,
I might.
please.
I might.
James, go ahead, brother. You're next in line anyway, so go ahead.
So, this is gonna be controversial, but apparently controversy creates cash. So hopefully you get a super chat telling me how wrong I am.
Right.
Waiting for Dwayne to get in the chat.
I think it's past Dwayne's bedtime.
Yeah,
He
probably.
gave
gonna say,
$60 to the Greg Cherry Show the other day, so
No, I
Yeah,
see.
he did.
God bless
I
that
think
man.
I think he coughed up his beer money for the next week.
Hey! I missed that tag team. Go ahead, James. Sorry.
So
Yeah,
personally, to me, as much as I will put Horseman in my top 5 and probably even at my number 2, as modern as this is gonna make me look, I personally have to go with the Bullet Club. And the reason I say the Bullet Club, I don't think you can really see one faction that has survived and remained relevant in some form from the start to its current era than the Bullet Club right now. NWO tried, it failed. DX tried, it failed after a bit. Although that was more due to creative problems. You know, even the Dangerous Alliance, they tried and failed. Even the Horsemen had those problems.
Yep.
The Bullet Club has not run into that issue yet. Yeah, you've had your hiccups on the way with Evil. Let's not talk about that.
Don't get me started.
But there is still an argument to be made that if you want to talk about not even just the longevity, but the fact that they've been popular, that they've gone into major retail stores, very similar to how the NWO did. The fact that they have done a lot of what the old factions did, and then some. You know, you'd be hard pressed to not really say that the Bullet Club is the greatest. That's my mindset. Just when you factor in everything, what is a faction supposed to do? Well, with what JJ said, you know, let's look at the brass tacks. You get all the gold, you get a merchandising revenue partner worldwide, and you make a lot of money, and the company a lot of money. I think the Bullet Club's done that.
I'll concede that the Bullet Club definitely is in the conversation. You know, I think what the Bullet Club has got going for them, and again, I know their rise to fame has been primarily with me being away from the product, so correct me here if I'm wrong, but the majority of the Bullet Club has been in smaller, for lack of a better term, more independent style promotions.
Meh.
Whereas the other ones that we've been naming, you had management. That was the downfall of the Horsemen, was the Jim Herd administration.
Right.
You know, like you said, creative for D-Generation X. You've got the oversaturation of the NWO. You're with us or against us, and freaking everybody but like 3 people on the roster were NWO.
Right.
You
Legit.
know,
Goldberg, Dallas Page, Booker T.
Sting.
No.
Sting was
right now. He went to the Wolfpack. I'm sorry.
Wolfpack, dude.
Yeah.
so
That Sting did look badass, though. I can't lie.
Oh yeah, without question.
You know, it would probably be a different argument if the Bullet Club were a WWE creation, an Impact Wrestling creation, an AEW creation, because eventually those factions have to break up so that the breakout stars can go on their way. They've been able to survive by not being in one of the major promotions, I think.
Yeah, probably. I will say, though, just to put this in perspective, though, New Japan, for lack of a better term, has been, even though it did fall off during the later stages of the Inoki era, has been a major promotion in the world. So you got to consider that as well. Even though we might not know where they are in this country, they are a major promotion, have been a major force for many years.
And I'm not taking anything away from New Japan. I'd put it on the same level as AAA down in Mexico.
Right.
You know, it's definitely a major promotion for its country, but unless you are a really diehard delving into it fanatic, the casual fan probably has no idea who New Japan is, who AAA is, unless they get those crossovers like New Japan versus AEW, when AAA used to be part of the World X Cup on TNA.
Yeah.
You know, same type of thing. And New Japan is more wrestling focused, which is why Noah loves the product.
So do I.
Which is another thing right there. You know, they're going to go for what draws, what sells, more so than storylines.
So, while I agree with what you're saying, here's a counterpoint.
Okay.
There is a thing. This faction's done something that I don't think a lot of people do. You know, we've talked about Ring of Honor being a industry standard and why the industry is what it is today for, I feel like, for a couple podcasts now. I would argue that without the Bullet Club, AEW doesn't happen. Without the Bullet Club, WWE doesn't change their prerogative and try to sign indie talent like Finn Balor and others. who started the Bullet Club, you know, and then they would get AJ Styles as well because of the Bullet Club. They would look into Kenny Omega, which then led to Tony Khan wanting to start it up the AEW. There's a lot of factors that lead back to the Bullet Club. Bullet Club doesn't happen. Jericho doesn't come over to Japan and fight Kenny Omega. You know, little stuff like that. Bullet Club has changed the industry in a positive way, where a lot of these other factions started out with a positive and then it tapered off because of bad management. And that's kind of my argument why. Yeah.
Again, I'm not going to dispute you on Bullet Club. I would definitely say that if we were just talking about the greatest factions that did not start in a major company, I think it would be Bullet Club hands down.
Yeah. That's kind of my mindset on that.
I mean, I have a faction that I've always loved and admired, but if I mentioned the name, I'm willing to bet that only Statboy and Jeff would know who I'm talking about, because we were all present at the birth and the growth and the run of the faction, and that's the Dynasty.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Pro Wrestling
Absolutely.
Guerrilla, Joey Ryan, Scorpio Sky, Scott Lost, Chris Bosch, and Jade Chung. Now, you may know some of those names from Scorpio Skies in AEW. Jade Chung did Ring of Honor and CZW work for a bit. Joey Ryan was on Impact, the Gut Check, and everything. So some of those names you may have heard of, but you may not be familiar with the Dynasty and Moss as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Mikey, since you were brought in the conversation with the mentioned Dynasty, what say you, Statboy? You're the man with the numbers. You're the man with the plan as far as getting statistics for us all. Even if you go by the numbers or not, what is the greatest faction for you, sir?
If you will, I am going to piggyback on my brother, and I'm going to throw in. I'm going to go with the Four Horsemen, because they did not truly start at all. Because if you really want to go back into history, Jimmy Hart and the First Family, they had a thing in the 70s that they are considered the first faction. And if it wasn't for the Horsemen, like Renegade said, all the other factions, stables, groups would not exist. Of course, you know, DX was the raunchy stuff. NWO were the rebellion. Evolution was the past, the present, and the future coming along. And all these groups are excellent in their own right. You know, yes, when DX came around, I was loving it. I was loving the dirty humor and all that. I'm like, you can't say that stuff. The Horsemen would never have touched that line. Flair would flat out say it, but you know, in his era, yes, he had the women on both arms. Yes, it was tastefully done. Whereas DX says, "Go ahead, ladies, let them fly." You know, the NWO. You know, we just don't care. We're gonna come in. We're gonna invade. We're gonna do what we want. We're gonna spray paint everything. We're gonna wreck stuff. We're gonna just sit back and, you know, put up our colors, black and white, black and red, whatever. They just didn't care. They evolved from the Horsemen, and also saying, you know, the incarnation. When I hear Horsemen, it's Flair, Tully, Ole, and Roma. Those and Arn, excuse me, and Arn Anderson. Like what
you better remember
those four. Yeah, I remember the Enforcer. Thanks to him not respecting the fans at one time in Anaheim. I remember him quite well. So,
yeah, well, but also, don't disrespect him, or I'll pull a Glock out on you. It's Glock Anderson.
Jesus, here I am.
He's got to be packing after Sid stabbed him. It's been carrying ever since.
You know. So yeah, I got to go with the Horsemen all the way.
Still not the worst horseman. He tried to kill another horseman, and he's still not the worst one. Terrible.
No, he's
Just
not.
terrible.
That says a whole
Noah,
lot.
let us get your expert opinion here.
Jeez. How do I even begin with this topic, considering what I learned when I was a child and grew up with versus what developed beyond that versus what I found out in our promotions versus what the network showed me. Again, this question really goes back to generations. You really got to think about the origins of professional wrestling. You think about what faction really brought forward it all. Most influential factions I can think of, I think of the Hart Foundation. I think of what you said, the NWO. I think about the Four Horsemen. I think about Main Event Mafia. When I went into learning about a TNA, you go into a more modern type setting. Yeah, Bullet Club started by Prince Devitt, and you had Firing Squad. The list goes on. And honorable mention, because when we focus on mostly male-focused factions, beautiful people, standout female faction for me, for damn sure. Hello, Velvet Sky. That being said, this one for me, though, when I think about personally, for me as a fan, the one that really reached out to me the most, the one I maybe saw the most under all his inaugurations, and still going. I kind of agree with the sentiments that James was alluding to when it came to Bullet Club. Since Bullet Club's inauguration, you start with the Firing Squad and Prince Devitt. You've seen how this has developed, and yes, it's gone through phases, but the Bullet Club name has always been a standard over the last plus decade of professional wrestling. Now even more influence through this America brand, really bringing it into the American side of things in NJPW, and now JY is trying to form this super Bullet Club, it seems. But no matter what, you think about, I don't know professional wrestling, but you hear Bullet Club, people have heard of the Too Sweet, people have probably had a shirt, black and white in some other form. There's been every possible marketing strategy you could figure out with that Bullet Club logo and name. It's probably one of the most recognizable names still to this day for anybody, whether you're hardcore or casual. The only other one I would go besides that, and this goes to those that don't know anything international, would probably be the one that most connects to me in this modern era pro wrestling, and that would be sports entertainment, The Shield. I gotta think about The Shield when it came to those three and how they came into the game and ruled the WWE with an iron fist. All three of them becoming champions in their own right, while as a faction, and all three of them becoming champions as individuals. It really became something that has not been seen for a long time in the WWE, but also in the business in general, especially here in the States. So overall, it's definitely worldwide for me, Bullet Club. But in my internal fandom with my fellow casuals or WWE enthusiasts, it's The Shield for me. Believe that.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that before Jeff gives his thoughts. We actually got a pretty damn good top 10 by Hammers in the chat. He says
I saw
Horseman
that.
number 1, NWO number 2, The Dangerous Alliance number 3, Nexus number 4. Wow, I'm surprised that's even in the top 5 for you. But fair enough. Top 5 is either Bullet Club or LIJ. I guess he alters between the two depending on the day. Number 6 is Shield. Number 7 is Main Event Mafia. Number 8's DX. Number 9's Evolution. And number 10 is the Von Erichs.
Von Erichs are still going today, too, I believe.
Yeah, Marshall and Ross, baby. MLW represent. There you go.
It's so funny to see the boys. I mean, there's such tragedy in that family, golly, and to see the boys still doing their thing, I commend them to no end. I really do.
Yeah.
Respect.
So I'm so glad we did this topic today, and we finished out with this because I'm glad we did this. I'm happy. So, and to answer the question in the chat room, Joey is not wrestling right now. I know he's still dealing with lawsuits, fallouts, whatever you want to call it, from what happened during the lockdown. I know I think he wants to. It's just a matter of him being such an untouchable topic right now. Hard for him to get work. And agree with Joey or not, what happened, it is what it is. So, as far as the answer to the question that I posed to everybody, I always answer this one with multiple layers, but I'm going to go ahead and try to keep it simple. But I will say this: the Horsemen are definitely the standard bearer, without a doubt, as far as wrestling factions. But my answer goes back to one very simple thing. And right now it's behind the forbidden door that is Club 33 here at Disneyland. But actually, this is my closet back here behind me on the green screen. In that closet right now, in my 30 2 years of fandom are a lot of wrestling t-shirts. I'm sure you all should know that by now. And a lot of them, quite frankly, are very Hulk Hogan based. No secret to anybody that I am a die-hard Hulk Hogan fan till the day they put me in the ground or the day they put me in the little Percy Pringle issued urn on my desk somewhere later in life. But there are far more Hulk Hogan shirts in that closet that are black and white or black and red. Therefore, my answer will always be the NWO because even it being introduced to this business as a Hulkamaniac, as a Hulk Hogan fan, I still very much so prefer the dark side of Hollywood, if you will. I prefer Hollywood Hogan. I even prefer the Wolfpack Hollywood Hogan that Matt Stryker, in all his wisdom, God bless Matt, completely lampooned on the NWO documentary. I was in a very small group of people on my high school campus that actively and out loud stated their wrestling fandom. Even in 98, 99, wrestling was still a cool thing, or beginning to be a cool thing again. It was still like, yeah, but it's that crap, it's fake. I was the only one in my circle that didn't immediately tear up my Hulkamaniac membership card on July 7th, 1996. So, and for a lot of people that are fans that did not like the Hulkamania presentation when he went to the wrestling company down in Atlanta, man, they jumped on board that ship. It was cool to like Hulk Hogan because it was cool to hate him as a result. So, for me, yes, the NWO could have gone a longer time had they not had been under a mismanaged company. They could have gone even farther in WWE had they come over when they not when they came over, when they came over before. They could have gone to the freaking next galaxy had that steel door open and that DX freaking Jeep went through there on Nitro and got the NWO in Bischoff's face. But I digress on that because that is definitely the ultimate what could have been during the Monday Night Wars. My God. Freaking the DX Jeep driving in on TNT. God, can you imagine that? Good grief almighty. There'd be freaking cleanups on aisle 4s everywhere from the sheer, I need a towel and a cigarette in that order. Thank you.
There's blood on the floor. Why is there blood on the floor? Guys, I thought this was supposed to be fake. Why is there blood?
That's why we don't use the F word, but continue, Jeff.
Cries.
Blood on the floor because we just popped our wrestling cherries watching DX show up on Nitro. Anyway, I will forever point to the NWO, and I'll even dare say that I'll kind of sidestep it and say the greatest faction wasn't an actual storyline driven faction. I'll say it's the Clique.
Yeah.
Because the Clique,
the reason for NWO and DX, respectively.
As Shawn Michaels so eloquently put it in his Infinite Douchedom in 1997, the Clique runs this industry, and goddamn it if they didn't.
Kevin Nash replies with right back at you, HBK, with the too sweet on Nitro.
That was a great if you caught it moment. It was amazing. It like when you look back, you go, "Oh shit, I didn't realize that happened at WrestleMania." But it happened. Oh yeah, because if you look, it's been edited off both WrestleMania 12 and WrestleMania 13. WrestleMania 12, Kevin walks out, or Diesel, walks out and goes, "I'm the shit, I tell you," and he throws it up. And then at 13, as Shawn's getting into the ring, he looks at the camera briefly and just goes like this underneath his coat, and they edit it out on the network. It's like, you douchebags, that's brilliant. But of course, they leave the part where Kevin says on Nitro, it's like, continuity is not your friend, guys, on the network, on the Peacock app. Got it. There is no continuity on the cock. There you go. Very good.
In other words, fuck WWE and their revisionist history. Anyway.
Well,
yeah.
I also think, it's ridiculous. But for me, the answer is the NWO. And yes, that's very biased because of Hulk Hogan. But there are so many great factions. We did mention the DA very briefly, Dangerous Alliance. It's funny that you guys mentioned that the Horsemen kind of spawned everybody. Paul E. said flat out on his documentary that the Dangerous Alliance was the new Horsemen. You had Rick Rude playing Ric Flair, he was the lead guy. He was the champion. You had Paul E being JJ, which he said out loud on the documentary. He had Arn, and he had Medusa as baby doll. He even said Medusa was baby doll on the documentary. But the one thing that the Horsemen didn't have was the fifth guy, and that was Stunning Steve Austin.
That's right.
Because Paulie knew even in 1992 that guy's the future of the business. And again, you shit on Paulie's business practices all you want, but having the eye for talent, fight me on who's better.
Yeah, there's nobody better than Paul.
And
No doubt.
Brought Steve into that faction, and he put Larry Zbyszko, who, with all due respect to Larry, I love Larry. I think he was great during the Monday Night Wars, but who the fuck gave a fuck about Larry Zbyszko prior to the Dangerous Alliance in WCW? Let's not kid ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Double A, who was trying to find his footing in a Ric Flair-less WCW.
Yep.
Again, Ravishing Rick, who was the centerpiece. He came out at freaking Halloween Havoc as the Halloween Phantom, punked Tom Zink. Gee, that's hard in 1991, 92. And unmasked the same night with Paulie standing right there and Deuce standing with him. And it's like, oh, we got something here. We got Paulie and Medusa with Ravishing Rick Rude, who, God damn it, he should have been the WWF champion, and he never was because the Warrior was the guy. And man, WCW, again, shit on Jim Hurt all you want. I will stand in line at the toilet behind you to dump crap on that guy because God knows he deserves it. But part of that philosophy was strapping the rocket ship to the ravishing ass. He debuted at Halloween Havoc. He was United States champion in less than a month, and he held that title the entire calendar year of 1992. Because he was Ravishing Rick Rude, and he deserved it, damn it. And he should have been the WCW champion proper. Yes, he was Big Gold Belt champion. He was international champion, but he should have been the guy to beat Vader. With all due respect to Ric Flair and the guy they were going to give it to, Sid Vicious. Again, Sid, when you stabby a horseman and Ric Flair's booking, you don't get to be the world champion, Sid. I'm sorry. That's a no-no. But yeah, Rick Rude, Arn Anderson, Larry Zbyszko, beautiful Bobby, again, another guy who had a great thing going because he had Stan and Dennis before him with Jim Cornette managing, and everybody else besides Bobby was like, WCW is fucking ridiculous. I'm the hell out of here. Bobby was a company loyalist, and they rewarded him here. You get Paulie now. So there was your four, but again, that fifth element, man, that stunning Steve Austin presence with the World TV Championship, backing up the U.S. champion, backing up that already awesome stable of guys who, if you want to liken it to the acting world, I know a lot. I don't know was very much a wrestling person and not outside of wrestling stuff, but you have people in the business called character actors, especially back in the old 50s and 60s Western days. Character actors were on every damn Western. Like if you watched, right now, if you watch MeTV and you watch Have Gun Will Travel, all those guys, you see those guys pop up on every single show because they played every single role in the history of television, right? That's what the DA was before they were the DA. They were the guys that they weren't going to be the world champion. They probably weren't even going to be the U.S. heavyweight champion. They were going to be guys that were going to trot along there and, utility players is what they call them in wrestling. The utility guys, the guys that are going to show up and give the guys you want to put over a decent little match, a great little hand, as they called them. And then you put Ravishing Rick Rude at the head of that stable, all of a sudden those guys are made. Every single one of them shined that entire year with Paul. And you think about it, they main evented the pay-per-view that didn't deserve to be on a pay-per-view at all because you had Sting Squadron. Nikita Koloff turned babyface. Let me just shit on that for a moment. Okay, I'm good. Thank you.
What?
But you had Sting Squadron and the DA in the middle of a May pay-per-view. Like, who runs pay-per-view in May? Who booked this crap? But it worked, and it was a great main event, and it's arguably the best War Games ever without the Horsemen directly involved.
Ever, yeah. You could even argue ever.
Seriously. Some would say ever, exactly, because there's a lot of great War Games matches, and Dusty even for a while was like, I don't know, man, but that was a pretty good one too. So, and he wasn't even the damn match. Dustin was, but not Dusty. So again, the Horsemen definitely set the standard, and that everybody was powered off of. For me, it's the NWO. But Paul and the Dangerous Alliance definitely get that big gold star honorable mention for me personally.
Respect.
You put that in perspective. We've been praising Paulie with the Dangerous Alliance and how he got eyes for talent, but even pre that, Look at his the Midnight Express and the feud he had with Jim Cornette's Midnight Express. You look at post post Dangerous Alliance and his eye for talent in ECW with Van Dam and Foley and Austin again.
Austin, the list goes on and on.
And
The Dudleys.
When he was in the WWE.
And recognizing that Todd's idea to keep bringing in the old guys and paying these guys through the ass wasn't working, but keep Terry Funk as the lone. Let's bring this guy in and go, oh, I'll put him over too. And he fucking did it.
And then they give him a championship. I mean, then you want to talk about that. There's also, when he was in the WWE, I mean, look at what he did for Brock Lesnar. Look at what he did for John Cena. Look at what he did for Edge and Mysterio and the Guerreros and Kurt Angle and Shelton Benjamin, Charlie Haas.
Paul Heyman SmackDown
6. You want to talk even after the SmackDown 6? I mean, he revitalized the Big Show. He made the Big Show look like an incredible threat. Look at how well he handled the Undertaker and how much longer of a career he had because of Heyman and the way he utilized him. Stuff like that. I mean, his eye for talent. Look at what he did for Punk. Look at what he did for so many guys. Roman currently. I mean, the guy, you cannot shit on Paul Heyman's eye for talent.
No. I will say this. There was within the context of this current storyline, Paul was visibly upset at being dismissed by Roman Reigns. I had this graphic all ready to go. I think I may have even posted it. Correct me if I'm wrong. I meant to anyway. Paul goes back with the bloodline. He's legit like honorary Uce. He really is. He goes back. He managed Kishi and Sam as the Samoan SWAT team after the Midnight Express thing ended. He's been with the bloodline since before the bloodline. And even going further back than that. When he hustled, his way into Madison Square Garden, one of the three people he aligned with very quickly was part of that evil trio, Captain Lou Albano.
Yeah.
Who was Lou managing at the time? The Samoans.
Yep.
And who were they feuding with? Rocky Johnson.
Yep.
So again, Paul's ties to the bloodline cannot be understated, which is why, as much as people popped up, ooh, Roman Reigns turned heel. Oh, Roman Reigns finally gonna be a bad guy. You put him with a guy who understands why he had to turn heel. You put him with a guy who's been with every facet of that family, with the exception of Yokozuna, because Paul was balls deep in running ECW at the time. Yokozuna was the WWF champion and the flagship of that company. He couldn't do anything else except run ECW, run ECW. But every other member of that bloodline, in one way or another, either through booking, through on-screen management, or some sort of writing effort, has been nurtured and cultivated and distributed to the masses by Paul Heyman, or some sort of combination of Paul and somebody with a bigger vision, and more importantly, a more manageable and better pocketbook. So again, this kind of evolved from the greatest faction to the greatest manager of the last 50 years or whatever.
Advocate, creative mind, you name it. Yeah. Paul Heyman has been it.
Yeah, and I for one am looking forward to. We saw at the top of the show, 347 days from now, if rumors are to be believed, and The Rock is the last bastion of hope for this bloodline to be toppled. He has to topple his own bloodline. Think about the writing that's going to go into that. My God, I'm just getting another freaking one of these. But Paul and his faction and his writing of other factions, because you remember, you guys mentioned earlier, Team Angle and The Big Show and Brock Lesnar. He managed 3 straight WWE champions, in a calendar year. It wasn't like, Lou Albano, who managed 17 tag championships over the course of many, many years. He was the manager, the guy behind the WWE champion between SummerSlam 2002 and WrestleMania 2003. No other manager, on screen, off screen, whatever, can ever, I don't think will ever say that.
No, not at all. Paul Heyman is goated for that very reason. I mean,
among so many others. The bottom line, as far as this conversation goes, I think we all can basically say at heart the Dangerous Alliance and the Four Horsemen truly is where it all started for us as fans when it comes to factions and their developments.
Yeah.
Whether or not you get something as big then, now, or to come is just yet to be determined.
Yeah, true.
It really is, Noah, and
Understood.
I agree with that, and I think it's a great way to put a pin in that until not too long from now, because we're gonna be back on the air pretty soon.
With that said, by the way, speaking of the bloodline, hey WWE, stop using that generic crap for Roman and use Crown the Empire by or Crown the Empire's bloodline. There you go. Thank you. Come again.
Hey, you know what?
Let them friggin' pay that license.
You know, number one. Number two, Roman's theme is on my workout list every day, so I like it.
I'm not a fan of
have.
it. It sounds so generic.
It may be generic, but it still sets a presence beyond him being connected to the Shield theme. So I'm okay with it.
Dude, that theme is so final boss in a video game, and that's what Roman is. He is the final boss, man. Let's not kid ourselves. So.
Agree. Can't deny that.
I would, yeah.
But even the final boss can get toppled.
Well, yeah, and that said, I mean, it's no.
Yeah, after you put so many quarters in the machine or use up all your continues.
Exactly.
Mikey makes a great,
down, down, left,
comparison
right,
there
BA
because
start.
WWE's put a lot of quarters in that machine already. It's like, what are we going to do now, boss? Oh, let's injure the Dr. Father and take him off TV for a month.
I also want to put this in perspective. I mean, not for nothing, but like, yes, Roman's theme might be final boss like, but I still say it's generic as shit when you compare it to the game during the Reign of Terror and that fucking theme, or Kenny Omega in New Japan. I mean, come on.
Fair.
Well, it's again based on what's in my drink right now. I am biased toward Triple H's themes because Lemmy's my.
Now that's the guy. That's the final boss. When you heard that song start saying "Time to play the game," you knew what was about to come in front of you. I don't know if you were ready for it.
And you know what? Lemmy is the final boss because who's better, Lemmy or God? Trick question. Lemmy is God. God is the final boss. So there you go.
Hold on. Let me hit you with a Lemmy impression real quick. Did you know I did 4 things for Triple H? The Ace of Thieves. The Ace of Thieves.
Well done, James.
JJ, well I recovered trying to get my Lemmy voice together. Go ahead, brother. You had your hand up.
I was going to say that ties back to a topic that I had wanted to discuss.
Yes.
If we want to go ahead and bring that up as a segue.
We can if you want. I have a graphic ready for it. We can talk about it. That's fine.
You know, I had sent something in our group chat about whose themes are more iconic. And I before everybody can just jump down and immediately say Motorhead's themes, I feel like Downstate has a very solid running here in this conversation, because if you really want to get down to it, and we'll go around the room here after I say my little piece here, but if you really want to get down to it, the Motorhead themes were just Triple H. Yes, one of them was Evolution, which included Flair, Batista, and Orton. But if Triple H was not in that stable, Line in the Sand would not exist for Evolution.
Correct.
They would have that generic ass song that they had when Evolution first launched.
Yep.
But Downstate has got in their repertoire The Miz's I Came to Play, A-Rise Say It to My Face, Dolph Ziggler's Here to Show the World, Cody Rhodes' Kingdom, and there's a fifth one I'm blanking out on right now.
Zack Ryder.
Thank you. Zack Ryder's Radio.
Yep.
And Zack Ryder's current theme, actually. Zack Ryder's current theme.
Okay.
Yep.
As well.
Matt Cardona's current theme.
There's
Name.
much
My apologies.
More diverse repertoire. And could anybody listening to them really tell that Radio is the same band as Say It to My Face?
It's funny that you mentioned that, because I actually use Bad by Downstate for my biggest heel faction in WYW, the Maggie Daddy Man, which you could check out on youtube.com/user/WYW Fred. Cheap plug.
Cheap plug.
Shameless plug.
Yes, indeed.
That we had to get in right here on Open Mic Night.
Oh my god, the McFoley thing. I gotta do that.
You just realized what that was?
Yeah, no. Like the minute he did the
Seriously.
smile, I'm like, oh, it's McFoley.
But seriously,
Well, we have been
I
on the
mean,
air for 2.5 hours.
Yeah, that's true.
whose theme songs are more iconic, have the biggest legacy behind them? Mikey, I'm gonna go to you first. Like I said, keep in mind, Motorheads are all geared toward one person.
May I meme first?
No,
Before Stephanie goes?
because I have a feeling you've got some good shit to say, James. I'm gonna come to you in a minute.
No,
Yeah,
mine's
shit,
a
pal.
meme. Mine's a
my
meme.
topic.
Mine's a meme. I got one
I-
thing to say.
Mikey's been quiet.
Okay, go ahead, Mikey.
But I'm gonna do the proverbial jump through the hole, and I'm going with Motorhead. I'm sorry. I know it's all towards Triple H. I know it's all towards Evolution and all that, but you know, Jeff is right. Lemmy is God, and when it comes to music like that, don't get me wrong. The other songs are great, but Lemmy's just so much better. I have to
Pussy,
go
don't get
with
me
it.
wrong. Or don't be a pussy. Carry on.
No, I'm good. I'm gonna keep it short and simple because it's
I mean,
it's
you know,
1:30 in the
how
morning
you-
on the East Coast.
I'm just gonna. I'm gonna just say this.
All
I'm
right,
gonna just.
James, go ahead. Go ahead, James.
I'm gonna just say this. Incorrect on both. The most iconic theme in wrestling history will forever be Limp Bizkit's "Rollin'." Because keep rolling, keep rolling, keep rolling.
No,
Out.
for completely other reasons. But
Yes.
back onto this topic, James. Where do you stand? I mean,
Oh man! All right, between the two, that's got to be Motorhead, isn't it? It's got to be Motorhead. I like Downstate. Downstate's really good, but there's no comparing, man. There's no way you can't. Motorhead.
No,
man.
we'll leave it to you, my friend, since we seem to have a very slanted house here.
Okay, interesting situation there. If we're just looking at the two, right now we're just focusing on two. Downstate, Motorhead.
Motorhead.
Okay, so Downstate right now, it's given us a bigger range because it's worked to build the identity of 5 WWE superstars, one now a pro wrestler and multi-champion. And then you have one with 4 iconic themes from a guy that will forever be immortal when it comes to his legacy in music, but also the guy he's connected with. So it comes down to which ones do you find memorable? Do you find the individuals memorable, or do you find the single individual more memorable? Because of the multiple layers, because each theme identified a different aspect in Triple H and his career, it will have to be out of those two, Motorhead for me as well. But as far as who has maybe the most, like, biggest contributions or iconic type, perspective when it comes to themes and building a wrestler's identity, for us, the entrance and the aura behind it, not the CGI graphic or the Titantron, if you still have that, or the amount of pyro you spend on a budget. It comes down to, that first beat, that first note, that first word that you hear. And again, a lot of stuff by Def Rebel, pretty generic. CFLS, they did some pretty good stuff in NXT. Mikey Ruggers does a lot of good things for AEW, but it all still feels one-dimensional because it still feels like it's the same theme or same genre. When I think about themes, I think about variety. I think about what sticks out. And why Mikey Ruggers does give a bit of identity to everybody that he does do a theme for. It's still rap, guitar, and drum at the end of the day. Every music kind of builds off itself in a way. For me, again, it goes down to one person, Jim Johnston. If it wasn't for Jim Johnston, you would not have that identity of The Undertaker. You would not have the identity of Stone Cold Steve Austin. That guy right there put so much into everything he put forward into letting you know who was coming to that ring, but also who they were in a retrospective too. So out of your two, it's definitely Motorhead because it identifies different perspectives of a person, not just different people. But as far as identifying a generation, it's Jim Johnston for me.
Fair enough.
All right, Jeff, do you want to go ahead and put the official nail in the coffin on this one? Because I know you and your connection to Lemmy.
And again, I said this to Jay in the chat. I am horribly biased here, so I can't give a very fair opinion. Let me say this. Until I saw the topic introduced, I did not know the range of Downstate's themes contribution to the business. The fact is this right now. Yes, Motorhead's sound in and of itself will forever be iconic, and dare I say, you know, greatness on a different level. Lemmy and Motorhead were always in God mode from the minute they started until Lemmy, unceremoniously had to pass away. Which, fuck the big C. Anyway, just throwing that out there now.
Respect.
But man, Downstate, they've got such a range. Like you said, I didn't even know they were doing Cardona's current theme, which I think is friggin' cool because Cardona has made himself a brand that you want to, dare I say, that you have to see what the hell that crazy son of a bitch is going to do next.
Exactly.
He's ready to become Ultimo Broski as it was, all the belt he's carrying to the ring every night, so good on him for it. I will say this. If I'm trying to stay unbiased, then I will have to say Downstate because it honestly is just one of those things that they have a greater range. But for my fandom and my personal choice is Motorhead, Lemmy, doing the Triple H centric themes. But I gotta play it straight, man. Downstate's had a longer range. They've had a longer lasting ability because their themes are, think about it this way, the theme that Cody uses now has now been in every major promotion in this world, not just this
That's
country.
true.
Used in New Japan,
This
used in Ring
world.
of Honor, used in Impact Wrestling, used on AEW.
Every
and now
indie he's ever been to.
He has taken what was a meme worthy situation as far as and just ran with that theme. And I think his theme above all the other ones that Downstate has done really identifies with him. He did exactly what those lyrics say. He stepped out of his comfort zone. He gave up his freedom because he tied himself down to, I have to make this work or I'm going to lose my ass. And he did. Everywhere he went, he made it work. Even Impact, the brief time he was there, he made it work.
AEW,
and now he's come home where he wanted to be. He cut that promo. People crapped on it, whatever. But like I said, a lot of people did not know that picture was legitimately hanging in Dusty's living room. Dusty as great as Dusty was, as amazing as his legacy is, he always wanted to be the WWF champion, and he never got to do that. And he, like I said on previous streams since then, Polka Dot Sky was never going to be WWF champion. Goldust, no matter how much press he got, was never going to be the WWF champion. The American Nightmare has that chance, and I think that theme encapsulating his return and his journey makes it an easier choice for me to say Downstate has the overall lasting ability. Now, as I throw back this whiskey, I will say, let me and Motorhead, you kick everybody's ass, and I miss you, motherfucker.
Indeed.
Good way to
Yeah,
finish
I
it.
mean, like I said at the
We are
start,
Motorhead, and we're gonna kick your ass and butcher Triple H's team at WrestleMania 17. I don't feel like singing
Damn,
this
that was
today.
pretty. That's fucking that's scary, man. Wow, I
And
just
you're
thought,
spot on.
JJ, go ahead.
Yeah.
they also butchered it at WrestleMania 21 BTW. I was there live. for
Yeah,
that
yeah,
one.
I know.
Yeah,
But,
so was
like
I.
I said at the onset of this topic, I knew that there was going to be a lot of people coming through with Motorhead.
Hey, I was
Motorhead
the
is one of
original.
those-
I was the originator of Mumble.
James, let JJ talk. You've been talking over him more than anybody tonight, brother.
Yeah, sorry, my bad.
Motorhead is one of those all-time iconic bands, and the fact that they dipped their toes in the wrestling pool for as long as they did with the game, with Line in the Sand, with King of Kings, it's going to be one of those things that always resonates with people. Personally, I never liked the King of Kings song.
No.
That was my least favorite of theirs.
Yeah.
I did like that little time where they used the King of Kings intro and
So
then
cool.
kicked into the game.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 22.
But other than that, the whole King of Kings song I was good on. Whereas Downstate, like I said at the beginning, like Jeff touched on, you've got the range. You've got Zack Ryder's radio and A-Rise Say It to My Face. Those sound nothing alike. Those don't even sound like the same band.
No.
You know, you've got The Miz's I Came to Play, which how long has The Miz been using that song?
Yeah.
At least a decade now, I think.
At least.
And now Downstage making that dough with the feud between
Dolph
the Miz and-
Ziggler, Here
Yeah.
to Show the World. How long's he been using that song?
Yep. Started as I Am Perfection too, which I think is the better version.
I agree. I was about to say, I miss I Am Perfection. That was his theme.
10
Maybe
years this
so.
year, kids.
But, you know, he had to evolve out of that one. Once the Ziggler gimmick evolved, he had to evolve out of that theme.
Right.
You know, much like Triple H evolved out of My Time to The Game. As much as it pained me because I always loved My Time, so maybe there's a little bit of bitterness on my end because The Game replaced that song. You know, but again, you can't knock Motorhead.
No.
I don't think there is a person in this room, this chat room, on this planet that can say some bad word about Motorhead.
Although they'll try to, because I'm sure they'll be artificially programmed to do so. But that being said, we're all a little biased in some way when it comes to any aspect in this industry, creative, presentation, in-ring, or otherwise. So I get what you're saying, JJ. Also, there is one more theme I just thought of that Down Straight does also. They do Chelsea Green's theme in Impact Wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
The Cardonas
I
know what's
love me a hot
up.
mess.
Hey, know
The
what they're
Cardonas
doing.
know what's up.
They do indeed.
Which is why they're the single biggest independent brand in the world right now. The two of them. I mean, it's not even front.
Well, now Brian Myers is with them, and they're the major players. So now it's the three of them.
And again, JJ and I having met Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins at a time where Edge was already gone from the business and they were floundering. Nobody deserves that new rub on them more than fucking Brian and Matt. I stand by that shit. Without a doubt.
Jeff
Those
would
guys-
agree with you too.
I
Those
completely
guys are
agree.
workhorses, and Chelsea, goddamn, if she can just like have one arm tied behind her so she doesn't hurt the son bitch anymore, she's good to go.
Oh, she'll just play it off. She'll fool us all on Twitter like she did with Mickey James. She's brilliant.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yes, that
great
was
stuff.
brilliant. She's a genius.
So, JJ, I thank you for introducing that topic because that was a great way to end. I like the faction discussion, but that was a cool thing because I think we all surprised. At least I surprised you with my answer because I thought Sharp was going to go with Lemmy too. But you know what? I got to give the Dan State their props, man. And like you said, the fact that they've done so many themes that you didn't know was the same band until I actually looked it up. It's like that's impressive. When you hear Motorhead, you know exactly who you hear, no matter what song it is, right? So, but these guys, you don't know, so it's great.
The hidden identity.
Or Motorhead.
Yeah.
We have an identity. It's the same identity you've heard all throughout my life.
And it ain't no mystery.
It ain't no mystery.
Revolution is a mystery, but we don't know it. Oh, yeah. Anyway. All right, so let me get the plugs in, and then we'll go to bed, kids, because it's 20 to 11 here. It's almost 2
That's
o'clock for
true.
the rest of y'all. Jesus Christ.
That's
So,
true.
all right, Tommaso, which is 1 day from now, or actually less than that, because we're gonna be on the air way earlier than this. We've got a live watch-along reactions of Impact's next offering, Rebellion, live from where are they at tomorrow, Noah?
They are at Portuguese New York.
What?
Ah, yeah.
There's a Portuguese New York?
Or
That's right.
I'm probably butchering the city name, but also I'm not from New York. I don't know y'all's city.
Yo, I didn't know there was a Portuguese in New York.
I'm pretty sure he's trying
Portuguese.
to say Poughkeepsie would be my guess.
Poughkeepsie.
But
Perketsky, thank you.
Oh.
yeah. The thing with Poughkeepsie is, WWE used to tape there when they didn't have anywhere else to go, so it's just a shit town, which is why no one's okay to butcher it. It's totally okay, 100% okay with me on that one. So once they leave Portuguese New York, we're gonna come back here to the studio, and we're gonna do night 2 of Open Mic Night because my topics were controversial. Here we go. I mean, the bottom right's gonna be a long discussion.
I'm just looking at the
With
bottom
that
left. Let's freaking go!
Yeah,
Where's
he's bottom
my-
left.
where's my
I'm so
Tony?
jazzed. I wish I could afford to go to Chicago in June. I really do. I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
But again,
Oh, God, I wish I could too.
A lot of great topics to talk about. And again, James introduced the upper right, which I'm ecstatic about the fact that the bots are actually a thing. Tony Khan got redemption. God bless poor Tony.
For the record, before where's the Cody topic? No Cody topic? No.
There was a Cody topic?
Yeah. Why? The topic idea was
Why didn't he turn heel in AEW?
Should he have turned heel in AEW? Was the main topic.
It could be a fill-in. Like
yeah, it's a bonus
Yeah,
topic.
yeah,
just
yeah,
like
yeah.
there wasn't a graphic done up for my themes one, but we covered it anyway.
And I loved
Yeah, we'll
it.
do that. That works. So that's just tomorrow.
Really quickly,
Monday,
before
as
you move on
JJ alluded
the-
to earlier.
Oh, JJ
really
wants to
quickly before you move on to Monday, I know you showed the Rebellion watch long thing starts at 4. What time does the pay-per-view actually start? 5?
So the countdown starts 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. That will include the Knockouts Tag Team Champions, Inspiration for the win, and the X Division Triple Threat match for the championship. The actual pay-per-view starts at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, available on the Fight TV app.
All right. Thank you for that, Noah. I will probably be here then at 4 o'clock for the intro part. And then I'll dismiss myself at 5 o'clock since I have no way to see the actual pay-per-view without, illegally broadcasting it. So, and then I will come back for open mic night. So just throwing that out there now.
Fair enough.
All right.
However, we will see JJ in full effect Monday because it was a topic that he brought to my attention. Because Monday, yes, it was taped earlier, but Monday is the broadcast anniversary of a man who has evolved from, he is the evolution of man. And I don't mean the crazy graphic you see in doctor's offices. He was a legend killer. He was a viper. He still is the apex predator. He still is a bro. But what will be his ultimate legacy? Again, we can find out Monday when you guys in the audience have the chance to ask the dads, not always on wrestling, anything and everything about Randall Keith Orton on his 20th anniversary in WWE. So there you go. That's coming up on Monday night. Tuesday,
Yes,
of course,
I'm responsible for all those puns. I came up with that.
You're
Yes.
brilliant.
The only thing that's not JJ done on this is the actual shaping of the pictures, because JJ is still learning the graphics part of this presentation, and we appreciate the effort, my friend. You get the Bart Simpson, you tried cake on the graphics part, but the verbiage was tremendous, and the topic itself, my God, I am so ignorant because I forgot that it was his anniversary. So
I gotta say, I'm hoping my dad pops into the chat room for that because we all know how my dad feels about Randy Orton.
yes,
Oh boy.
I assume it's not too good.
well, no,
I
because
know the
dad
story
being
quite
a-
well.
My dad being a military man, he served in the Navy for a few years. The fact
bless
that
him.
Randy Orton went AWOL in the military kind of shaped his opinion right off the get, and he's never liked Orton ever since he found that out.
Well, then.
That's the long and the short of it there.
I
Right.
see.
So, and again, the usual fare next week. Tuesday, we've got Talk Wrestling. And by the way, programming note for everybody watching on my network, you will not see Talk Wrestling the following Tuesday, the Tuesday before Backlash, or WrestleMania Backlash, Botch, on No DQ, because they'll be doing their Backlash predictions that night after NXT.
Lord.
So you won't see Talk Wrestling on DQ, but you will see it here on the Jeff Meacham Network, as well as the Cassie Studios and the Greg Cherry brand. Wednesday night, speaking of Greg Cherry brand, of course, we're back on regular schedule because Greg will not be at Dynamite this week unless he gets a random ass plane ticket to wherever the hell they're going to be this coming week. He'll be here with us on the Greg Cherry brand on Wednesday night. Thursday night, of course, since he's here, I'll give the plug that I actually upload the graphic. I don't think I did because I fucked up. Where is it? I didn't.
You had one job.
I'm going to
Meacham.
stretch even further and just keep talking very slowly until I get Octomania's running wild, brother.
I can keep shitting on Big Swole to buy you time.
You know, please don't do that anymore. I'm already going to get letters as it is. But thank you. Appreciate the effort. No more shitting on the people today. I did that. It's okay. What the hell?
I feel like we both did that. Man, we shat on
100%.
3 women collectively, man. That's bad luck.
Yeah. I'm just glad I'm toxic. I'm just glad I'm drunk and don't give a shit at this point. Whatever. So
You know what? Y'all
hell's that
shit on
damn rat?
3.
There it is.
Y'all shit on 3 women, and it became news today that Amber Heard shit in Johnny Depp's bed. So it's all tied together.
Yeah, we'll see the shit for ourselves. That's a
Yeah.
whole other.
If Renegade wasn't going to say that, I was. So
There we go.
Say that.
Hey, you
Mike,
want to
you
talk
can
about?
say that and so much more on Thursday night when Stud Boy Rants returns to the airwaves. May God have mercy on our souls.
And for the
Good
record,
God
also,
Almighty!
just to add to that, at least you don't have Will Smith's situation where Jada Pinkett Smith is divorcing him for money. That's happening.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
that'll be talked about.
Well, I mean, to be fair, both their careers are pretty much did anyway, so it kind of is what it is.
Well, I mean, I don't think
true.
Will Smith cares because he got his Oscar and he could ride off into the sunset. So there you go.
Yeah, and again, regardless of what you think about the Johnny Depp thing, and we could talk about that tonight if we really wanted to, but I didn't want to be here for another hour and a half, so we're kind of good
Yeah,
for the
let
night. But anyway,
No, I'm tired. I want to go to bed.
yeah, like you start, he has a rants episode to prepare for. He needs to get himself some shut eye. The
Yes.
day after, we'll have our official return of the Dads, and Always in Wrestling, our last Friday show of Dads, as JJ and I present our top 10 backlash matches of all time. And yes, we're saying backlash. We do not use WrestleMania prefix. I don't think there will be a WrestleMania backlash match that'll actually make the list. I could be wrong. I don't remember what we taped because it was long ago. But
Nah.
I think
So-
we filmed that back just after the turn of the new year.
I think we did too. So, and for the record, that's the last one we have canned because as of now, Dad's on May 9th, which will be our top 10 Dwayne Johnson movies in celebration of The Rock's birth month, will be live for Dads. God help us all. So, and that's still very tentative. We're still not sure that's going to be a thing, but as of right now, it will be live. So stay tuned for that.
But then small caption since it's changed.
Yeah, car temperature change as we do.
I know that you have been asking people to tweet you topics to rant about. I
Mhm.
would like to see you rant about Getsy's retirement on your first episode. That
There
is
you go.
my
Done.
request.
Done.
Being as how he's one of only 2 ducks that I know that this guy over here next to me can tolerate, and the fact that he is hanging the skates up at the end of the season without making another playoff berth. Tee. Sorry, kind of. I'd love to hear
Not
you
sorry.
rant on Getsy and his career and his legacy and your thoughts.
And
I know,
I will
Noah,
go
I'm
so
sorry.
far as I'll even wear the
Duck
Mighty Ducks
jersey?
jersey on that episode. Since I'll be producing it in the room. So there you go. All right, where are we
Done.
at here on plugs? What are we doing? We're at plugs. Okay, so yeah, if you want to go to Pro Wrestling Tees, I know they're doing an Earth Day sale, but it might be over at this point because Earth Day is over in most parts of the world. But if it's still going on, you can get 20% off of this shirt. Go for it. I encourage buy the shirts, and then if you want to buy the good stuff, go to merch.jeffmeacham.com and buy all the Greg Cherry designs of the Jeff Meacham Network, Godzilla Studios, Stat Boy himself, the Renegade himself, and everything else you didn't know you needed in your wrestling t-shirt collection. But now you see it, you go, damn it, I need every single one of those in triplicate because, damn it, they're that good. All right, and that was a really bad shill, and I'm going to go with it anyway. All right, just for everybody's clarification, we will be dark on the network at least one day in May, and that will be Friday the 13th. No, because we're not going to go kill the people with machetes because I don't want to do that.
But
I will be on my personal Facebook page group covering this. I'm not going to say it out loud. Please don't anybody say it out loud. I don't want to get even more in trouble, but we'll be doing a watch along to celebrate 30 years of this. Event redacted, Noah. We're going to be doing this that Friday night, so that we will not be on the air with wrestling stuff. We'll be on my personal page doing that. All right, I'm good. And then the next month we'll be doing another one of those shows that's coming back. Actually, tomorrow. Actually, yeah, no, today. They came back today, didn't they, JJ?
yes.
The 22nd. Okay, so yeah. So if you're into that particular where we're at, then yeah, check out those streams in June. Anyway, anything else anybody wants to plug? I don't have graphics for it, but feel free to go ahead. And
yeah,
James, I know you do, so.
I'll plug stuff. check out my sorry Step Boy, please bear with me. I got actual good stuff to plug because I'm doing a bunch of stuff. Go check out youtube.com/user/jhebert side95. That's JHEBERTSID95 in YouTube URL, and you can also just search my name. I have done so far a couple of great things. Number one is a DPW fire intro that is now currently sitting at over 100 views, which I appreciate everybody that retweeted it and spread the word on that. The Deadlock Boys did see it, so I highly appreciate it. I think it came out stupendously, to take a phrase from Vince there. It was really good, so definitely check that out. And also check out a Toby Manny remix I did. I actually used Moisis.ai for the first time in my life. I've never used this program before, and I used it to perfection first time in to produce a song with a new beat. So if you want to go check that out, that's on my channel. I just about done everything up there: podcasting, theme edits, tutorials, you name it, probably on there. You can also check out Weymouth Youth Wrestling. That's youtube.com/user/WYW Pride, my CAW league, which is going swimmingly. And that's about all the stuff I have to plug for now. There you go.
Anybody else?
Noah, don't you do plugs?
No, it's like I'm doing your shit tomorrow, Jeff. You freaking buffoon.
I'm
Yeah, I
about to say,
know.
I'm just working with you, where again, I only wish to encourage all. Just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling. Simple as that.
Great plug. Love it.
Short and to the point. I digs it. I digs it the most. All right. So if you are out there still watching me, God bless you. And God bless you, and God bless all of you little gentlemen, you mere gentlemen, and I'm going to the Christmas song, so clearly it's time to stop drinking and start going to bed. I will say this. Thank you all for watching the last few hours. Thank you all for commenting along and including yourselves in the conversation in the chat room. We appreciate all the viewership. We appreciate the lack of donations because we understand you're all as broke as we are, and we got to understand that, and that's okay too. But don't do it again tomorrow, where we'll have to find you and do bad things to you on Friday the 13th when I'm not on the air. Anyway,
we will find you and we will rule you.
That's right. And if you understand that reference, you in the right room, kids. And if you're not,
wait, Bobby Roode, where? Where is Bobby Roode?
And if you don't understand that reference, you're probably Noah.
No, you probably saw that one.
No longer glorious. Don't you bring that up. You want me to rant about what my NXT used to? No, we are done here for the night. I swear, James.
It wasn't on NXT. It was actually about Ready to Rumble, y'all. But damn, we gotta get nasty.
I just heard.
We all get crazy.
I just heard Rude, so I went.
He's not even called Bobby Roode anymore. All right, come on, close this thing out.
Are you okay? Noah, do you need to talk? Do I need to? No, I'll be a therapist. How does that make you feel?
Not my NXT.
God damn it.
Go ahead.
Noah said to close it out. I don't want to have angry commentator on my hands. I'm going to close this shit out, dog. Mikey's doing sign language with a hood over his head. He is a white guy wearing a hood doing sign language. I need to stop this show now. Okay. Good night, everybody.
Oh, shit.
We'll see y'all tomorrow night.
Good night.